Chapter 121. Northern Stronghold 2. After the four approached the stronghold, they were discovered by the guards. The wax figure sounded the alarm, and a group of guards poured out from the stronghold, surrounding Chen and others. "You are Lord Chen and Lord Sasuke." After the guard approached, he also recognized the identities of Chen and Sasuke, and said respectfully, "Take us to see Shigego." Chen didn't take these guards seriously, and went straight to his own purpose. Chongwu is. Now, the guards seemed to have received the order from Orochimaru, so they did not question, but asked tremblingly, seeming to feel panic. "Yes, take us there now." I know. Ida, you bring Lord Tatsu and Lord Sasuke over there," a leader who seemed to be the group said to a thin guard beside him. Hearing the leader's call, the other guards seemed relieved, and then looked at the guard named Ida with a look of schadenfreude or sympathy. What? I'm going. The guard who was named was startled and said in disbelief, and seemed to be too frightened to speak clearly. "That's right, it's you, don't say any more, hurry up and bring the adults over there." But, the guard called Ida wanted to say something else, but was interrupted by Chen. "Enough, stop talking nonsense, take us there, I know what you are worried about, don't worry, since we let you lead the way, we will ensure your safety, let's go." Yes. When it was said to Chen, the guard called Ida had no choice but to bite the bullet, but he knew what would happen if he disobeyed the order. "Sir, please come with me." Ida took the key from their leader, then turned to greet Chen and the others, and led the way tremblingly. "Let's go." Chen greeted and followed by Sasuke and the others. Led by the guard, Chen and the others passed cell after cell. Most of the prisoners in it were bound with chains all over their bodies, or a heavy iron ball was tied under their feet to limit their ability to move. With one exception, the eyes of these prisoners showed bloodthirsty eyes, and their bodies were also full of violent aura. "Hey, those guys don't seem to have seen each other before, what are you doing here?" The prisoners also found Chen and the others, sneered, or shouted at Chen and the others, "Hey! Little devil, you or Orochimaru. New pets, come to uncle's side, let me tear you all apart." However, Chen and Sasuke turned a deaf ear to these clamoring voices, did not show any dissatisfaction, and still silently followed behind Ida. But Shueyu didn't have such a good temper. "Hey, it's really annoying. Boss, do you want to kill them? Don't waste your time, they won't survive long anyway." Yes, really, I knew you would say that," Shueyu said helplessly. "Wait you guys, are you going in the direction you're going in, are you? Coming for Chongwu?" Amidst the clamor of the group of prisoners, a prisoner suddenly discovered Chen and their intentions and exclaimed. After the prisoner called out Chonggu's name, the other prisoners who were still shouting calmed down instantly, their expressions became panic, and cold sweat broke out on their heads. Are you coming for Shigeo? What the hell are you trying to do?" I just want to take Chongwu away, I want him to be our partner," Shueyu said with a light smile to the prisoners. "Hey, do you know what you're doing? If you let that guy out, we'll all be killed," a prisoner shouted in horror. "I think so too, but my boss doesn't seem to listen to me. Besides, I don't think he can kill me," Shueyu said disdainfully. "Hey, what a joke, just relying on a guy like you, I will definitely be killed by Chongwu." Another prisoner sneered, looked at Shueyu with disdain, and then said. Hearing what the prisoner said, Shueyu, who felt that she was underestimated, seemed very unhappy, the expression on her face became cold, and her footsteps stopped. Humph! Seeing this, Chen snorted coldly and launched a kaleidoscope at the prisoner who laughed at Shueyu, only to see a black flame burst out from the prisoner's body, and instantly fell in love with that prisoner and wrapped it up. What is this? After Chen's Amaterasu ignited the prisoner let out a heart-piercing scream. No matter how much he slapped the flames on his body, he still couldn't catch the black flames. Destroyed, he could only roll on the ground, screaming in agony, until the whole person lost his life. Chen's thunder method made the prisoners present, Xueyu and others secretly startled, and Xueyu was even more glad that Chen was not annoyed at that time, otherwise. Thinking of this, Xueyu couldn't help feeling shudder. Those prisoners didn't dare to speak up, and all of a sudden they became silent. Let's go. Chen seemed to have done a trivial thing without caring at all, and greeted Xueyu behind him. Although she was afraid, Xueyu knew that Chen did it because of him, so she was very grateful to Chen. Yes, boss. After a little episode, Ida finally brought Chen and the others to a cell, only to see that the cell door was completely closed, and the inside could not be seen at all, and there were still many chains hanging outside the cell door, trapping the entire cell door. Big, sir. See, Changwu, right here. Ida took out the key, trembling all over his body, and said to Chen conscientiously. Open the lock. Ah, yes. Ida tremblingly wanted to insert the key into the keyhole, but due to the tension in Thailand, he tried several times without success. Hey, really, let me come. Xueyu impatiently grabbed Ida's key, and then inserted the key into the hole at once. As a result, Ida shouted in horror as if he had been stimulated by something. While running outside, as if some terrifying monster was about to burst out of the cell. That guy, what's going on? Is it that scary? Xueyu looked at Ida's escape without a word, and complained helplessly, but her subordinates didn't stop, and quickly opened all the locks. Wait a minute. Just when Xueyu was about to open the prison door, Chen stopped him and said, "You guys back up, I'll open it." Huh, got it. Xueyu stepped back and gave up her seat. At the same time, her eyes were full of alertness. Chen stepped forward, reached out and grabbed the handle of the prison door, and pushed open the prison door inside. Chapter 122, Libre Changwu. Chen stepped forward and slowly opened the prison door, and the scene inside was also revealed to everyone. Sure enough, it's a man, you guessed it right, I'm going to kill you. An arrogant voice sounded in the prison. Just before everyone had time to think about it, a sudden change occurred, and a figure suddenly rushed out of the prison. He came out, and waved his fist, punched Chen's body, hit Chen on a wall, punched a big hole in the wall, and raised a burst of dust, blocking Sasuke's sight and letting them for a while. I didn't see Chen's situation. Boss, Xueyu exclaimed. Huh, Sasuke frowned, a trace of worry flashed in his eyes, but it was fleeting, and he immediately returned to his indifferent expression. Only Xianglin remained calm, but still said in surprise, Uchiha Chen's chakra has changed. After the raised dust gradually dissipated, the scene inside was also revealed in front of everyone. I saw that Chen was wrapped in a gray-white chakra at this time, forming a rib-like appearance to protect Chen in it, and the gray-white chakra also transformed into an arm, which attacked him in front of him. Fist grabbed. At this moment, a man with orange hair was standing in front of Chen. He was wearing the same prison uniform as the prisoner before, while a chain was under his right foot, and the other end of the chain was buckled with a huge metal ball. On his face, half of the area was covered with a curse, his left hand had turned into a monster's claws, and his arms had thorns that resembled scales. Catch. Ha 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 tilde 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 you are very strong. Even stronger than the previous Junmalu. The man in front of Chen's eyes is exactly Chen's third target, Libre Changwu. Feeling the chakra emanating from Chen, Shigego smiled wildly and said to Chen. Humph. Chen controlled Susaku and let go of Changwu's hand, and Changwu also jumped back after Chen let go, keeping a distance from Chen. I didn't come here to fight with you, I just wanted to talk to you. Shigego, Chen said calmly to Shigego after releasing Susaku's state. Talk. I'm taking you out of here. Get out from here. Changgo was taken aback when he heard Chen's words, and then he laughed wildly. Ha 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 tilde 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 are you an idiot? Without him, I can't leave from here. I'll say it again, I'm not going to fight you, I just want to take you out, come with me. Humph tilde tilde I can't leave here anymore. Changgo roared, and once attacked Shangchen. Humph. Seeing Changwu attacking again, Chen didn't fight back, but kept avoiding Changwu's fist. Ha ha ha. Kill you, kill you. You don't understand anything. I can't leave here in shock. Changwu is chasing Chen, but Chen is avoiding Zhongwu's attack, fighting back in the slightest. Means nothing. Why didn't the boss fight back? In that case, let me be his opponent. Seeing that Chen was just dodging passively, without any intention of fighting back, Shuiyu snorted coldly and took the beheading knife on her back. Down, and attacked me. In an instant, the beheading sword in his hand came to Shigego and swung towards Shigego. And Chang'o felt Shuiyu's attack, and also snorted coldly. His right hand instantly turned into a curse mark, and then blocked Shuiyu's attack. Who? The ability to use is different from before. Changwu. It's hardened. Shuiyu shook her slightly numb arm and teased at Changwu. I see, it's Shuiyu. I remembered it. Seeing the person coming, Chang'o also remembered who the person in front of him was. As expected, this guy is not easy to deal with, boss. Shuiyu said with a wry smile. Stop, Shuiyu, we're not here to fight, let me talk to him. Chen yelled at Shuiyu. He's not a guy who can be dealt with just by moving his mouth, let's take him away with strength. Shuiyu did not listen to Chen's words, waving a beheading sword and attacked Changwu again. Changwu was not afraid, and greeted him, instantly with the water moon battle. HMPH. Stop both of you. I saw Chen's figure instantly appear between the two of them, separating the two, and at the same time activated Susanoo, and transformed into two arms, one on each side, to push the water. Yu and Changwu grabbed all of them in the palm of their hands, and at the same time exuded a strong murderous aura, and said, don't ignore my words. Or, do you want to be killed by me? Feeling the murderous aura emanating from Chen, whether it was Shuiyu or Changwu, it was as if he was in an ice cave, his whole body was chilled, and he couldn't help shivering. Have you calmed down yet? Seeing that Shuiyu and Shigego didn't even intend to do anything, Chen manipulated Susaku to release his hands, put the two back on the ground, and released Susaku's state at the same time. That murderous aura just now. It seems that the boss is real. Shuiyu swallowed a mouthful of saliva, sweating coldly, and looked at Chen in panic. Changwu also looked at Chen in horror. He didn't dare to be presumptuous anymore, and the curse mark on his body slowly receded, returning to his normal appearance. As if suddenly awakened, he turned around suddenly and ran towards his previous cell, while making a panicked cry. After running into the cell, he slammed the door shut, curled up inside the old man, shivering. Is this guy too timid? Shuiyu said helplessly after seeing Changwu's reaction. No, it's not like that. At this time, Xianglin and Sasuke also followed, said Shuiyu's words on Xianglin Street. I don't want to kill anymore, I don't want to go outside, leave me alone tilde. Changwu's panicked voice came from the cell. What are you doing? This guy, the personality split is too serious. Shuiyu put the beheading sword on her back again, and muttered speechlessly. Didn't I say it before? Changwu himself can't control the urge to kill. He can't control himself. In fact, he doesn't want to kill. Chen stepped forward and said to Changwu, the old man, Changwu, Junmalu is already dead, but you can rest assured that I will continue to be your cage, and my strength is definitely stronger than Junmalu's. So you don't have to worry about hurting me. Chapter 123, Team Formation. Very good, in this way, all the team members I conceived are here. Next, I will tell you my purpose. Outside the northern stronghold of Orochimaru, Chen said to the four people in front of them. It is Sasuke Uchiha, Shuiyu Ghost Light, Swirl Fragrance, and Shigego Libra, the Eagle Squad in the original book. Just now, Chen finally said that he used Sasuke's service to serve Shigego, and Junmalu died for Sasuke. He wants to inherit Junmalu's will and continue to protect Sasuke. Hey, boss, you brought us together, wouldn't you want us to take the entire ninja world in your pocket? He tilde. Shuiyu Igwai said with a smile, but when he saw other people with a pair of seeing that the idiot's eyes were all turned to him, he said embarrassingly, well. It's just a joke. Hey tilde. Chen also showed a weird expression, and said to Shuiyu in a mocking tone, I didn't expect that you could guess my purpose, Shuiyu, Yes, I just want to take the entire ninja world in my pocket. Chen's words exceeded everyone's expectations, and he couldn't help but let out a sound of surprise, and at the same time looked at Chen with an incredible expression on his face. Boss, in fact, I was joking just now. Shui Yu said with a smirk. He thought that Chen was echoing his joke just now. But, I'm not joking. Chen's expression condensed, put away his playful expression, and said seriously. Aren't you serious? Are you kidding me? How could it be possible? Xianglin was the first to jump out, pointing at Chen and questioning. So I need your strength. Of course, this is not forced. If you don't want to, you can leave now. I won't stop you, Chen said calmly, then looked at Xianglin and said to her, Xianglin Phosphorus, you said before that there were other things that came along with us, so you followed us. What are you going to do now? Yes, but, I think about it now, it's not in a hurry. Hearing Chen's question, Xianglin said with a strange expression. Xianglin, can you be frank? Actually, you plan to stay by Sasuke's side, right? Shui Yu, who was standing beside Xianglin, said suddenly jokingly. Xianglin's careful thoughts were broken by Shui Yu, and exploded like a kitten whose tail was stepped on. He pointed at Shui Yu and roared, How is this possible? Who made the rumor? Who? Look, you're right. No wonder you can't speak clearly. In fact, I already knew it. You told Sasuke a long time ago. Just when Shui Yu was about to make fun of a few words, Xianglin suddenly threw a punch at him and hit Shui Yu in the face. Shui Yu's entire head exploded like a water bag filled with water, splashing everywhere, but soon, Shui Yu's head gradually recovered. With no actual damage. Shui Yu, don't make trouble, don't provoke Xianglin again, didn't I say to cooperate with each other? Seeing Shui Yu's nonsense, Chen yelled at Shui Yu. I see, I'm sorry, Kaelin, but I'll stay with the boss and Sasuke until one of the Kurigakura's 7 ninja swords, Uchiha Itachi's partner, the twisted muscle in the hands of Kazuki Oni until you get it. Hey, it's just to collect ninja knives, it's really boring. After the farce just now, Xianglin also returned to his normal appearance, stretched out his hand and pushed his glasses, and said disdainfully. So, Changwu, what about you? Chen ignored the two and turned to Changwu. Kimimaro said that Sasuke is like his reincarnation, and he desperately protected him, so I want to see what kind of ninja Sasuke is, so I will follow him. Humph. That's settled then. Everyone's choice was within Chen's expectations. It was just a passing scene just now. Sure enough, as he expected, no one quit. In the future, none of us will be our companions to act together. From now on, the name of this team will be called Eagle. We have only one purpose, that is, to stand at the pinnacle of the ninja world. Of course, this purpose is far from us. It's too far. Before this, what we have to do is collect the chakras of the 9-tailed beasts and improve your own strength. Now you, except for Sasuke, your strength is too weak, so weak that you can even follow. I have no qualifications behind me, but I will find a way to improve your strength, so you will not have any tasks in the next 3 years. You only need to work hard to improve your strength. As for 3 years later, whether you are qualified to follow me or not depends on your own creation. Hey, it's really unpleasant to be giving orders again in a self-righteous manner. Xianglin said with a disdainful expression without giving any face to Chen's words. Yeah, it's really shocking for the boss to say that. Are we really that weak? Even Shui Yu couldn't help complaining. Hearing Xianglin and Shui Yu's disapproval, Chen's expression changed, and he said to them with a sneer, It seems that you have some opinions on what I said. I said that your current strength is too weak, is it wrong? Is it? After saying the last sentence, Chen's body suddenly burst out with an extremely powerful murderous aura and coercion, making everyone present feel as if they were in an ice cave, and their whole body could not help trembling. His strength can barely hold on, but under this oppression, Changwu unconsciously entered the state of the curse, but he didn't dare to do it, just gritted his teeth and resisted the oppression issued by Chen. Shuiyu and Xianglin did not so lucky. At this time, Shuiyu's whole body was soaked in cold sweat, and she held the beheading knife in her hand on the ground as a crutch to support her body. Even breathing was difficult, his face was blushing, and his whole body trembled uncontrollably. Old, big. Humph. Chen snorted coldly, dissipating all the murderous aura and coercion. The 4 people in the field felt the pressure from their bodies suddenly disappear, and they all sighed in relief, and Chenglu's curse seal gradually shrank back. Shuiyu sat directly on the ground like Xianglin, gasping for breath. What's wrong? You can't bear this little pressure. Weren't you very confident just now? Chen sneered and said jokingly to Shuiyu and Xianglin, who were slumped on the ground. Boss, I know I'm wrong, okay. Hearing Chen's sarcasm, Shuiyu replied with a frustrated face. Humph, with your strength, I don't even need to use one finger to kill you all. Hurry up, I still have something to explain. Chapter 124, Cultivation in Space. After Shuiyu and Xianglin were standing, Chenbian took out 3 bottles of pulse from the space. Because before, in order to block Orochimaru, Chen gave him a bottle of pulse. After that, Chen took out the cap from the vein, rail stone, and then synthesized a bottle. Seeing the pulse in Chen's hand, Sasuke's glasses lit up, but he didn't say much. Chen held the pulse in his hand and said to Shuiyu and the others, Okay, don't say I won't give you a chance. What I have now is a precious potion that can improve the physique and strength of ninjas. As long as you drink the potion, your physical quality and entity will be significantly improved, so in the next time, as long as you fully absorb this bottle of potion, and then consolidate your strength will definitely be higher than now. Out a lot. Quote. Boss, is this true? Shuiyu stared at the pulsation in Chen's hands with bright eyes, and it looks delicious. Compared to what Chen said about the function, what he cares more about is the pulsating taste. Unlike Shuiyu's excited expression, Xianglin and Shigego were much calmer. Jijian Xianglin stretched out his hand and wiggled his glasses, looked at the pulse in Chen's hand with suspicion, and said in a questioning tone, Is there really such a powerful potion? I've never heard of it. Oh, do you really doubt me? Chen said with a sneer after hearing Xianglin's words. There are 4 of us here, why only 3 bottles? Wouldn't it mean that we will have a companion who can't get this medicine? If that's the case, then I don't accept it. My strength doesn't need to be improved by this kind of foreign object, so give these potions to Sasuke and the 3 of them. Shigego didn't doubt Chen's words, but wondered why Chen only took out 3 bottles of pulse. Humph. Don't worry, Sasuke has already drank this potion, and this potion is only most effective when you drink it for the first time. If you drink it for the second time, the effect will be greatly reduced, and the benefits you will get are minimal. So Sasuke doesn't need to take this potion anymore. Is there any problem? So then I'm relieved. Changwu didn't speak after hearing Chen's time. Xianglin, who was still skeptical, changed his attitude immediately after hearing that Sasuke had already drank it, and secretly said in his heart, Has Sasuke already drank it? Then I too. Oops. Boss, since they are unwilling to accept them, then give me all the 3 bottles. I will drink them up to the last drop, and I won't waste the boss's heart. Shuiyu's words made Chen feel very angry. He spent a lot of time for these treasures. He said it was like boiled water, and he drank it all. HMPH. Shut up. Do you really think these potions are boiled water? You can drink as much as you want. 1 bottle per person. If you don't want it, then I just saved a precious potion. Shangphosphine, are you sure you don't want it? Shang Phosphorus, he also asked. That. I thought about it for a while, since everyone accepted it. It would be too out of place if I didn't accept it as a companion, so I accept it. Humph. Hearing Xianglin's defense, Chen sneered, without saying anything, and threw the pulse in her hand to her. Very well, then I will send you to a place, and when you get there, you will drink the pulse in your hands. For the next period of time, I will not summon you, you will stay there for me, be good, increase your strength. Now, relax, don't make any resistance. What do you want to do? Xianglin said cautiously. Don't worry, I won't do anything to you, just do it for me. With my strength, I don't even bother to play any conspiracy against you. Since we have become companions, don't doubt it anymore. Humph. Although he didn't know what Chen was going to do, he was telling the truth. If Chen was going to be unfavorable to them, they wouldn't have any room to resist. Thinking of this, Xianglin snorted coldly, still following what Chen said. Say, let your guard down. Okay, wait, no matter what happens, don't resist. Got it? Chen reminded them again after seeing that they were all relaxed. Got it. Then, let's get started. Chen said with a change of mind, and put all the private individuals in front of him into the space. Due to the previous reminder, Sasuke and the others had no one to resist, and everything went smoothly. In the blink of an eye, they disappeared in place, and after Chen put them all into the space, he also entered his own space. At this time, in Chen's origin space, due to the huge increase in Chen's strength, the area of Chen's space has grown to the size of 5 or 6 football fields. Due to the influence of the Gorel mine, the surrounding land has grown lush and lush. Big tree. This is it. Everyone who just entered the space looked at the surrounding space in surprise. The Gobi, which was still in the outside world just now, changed its place in the blink of an eye, which made them unresponsive for a while, even Sasuke no exception. Surprised, right? At this moment, Chen's voice sounded behind everyone, causing them to turn around and look behind them. Boss, what the hell is going on here? Why did we appear here all of a sudden? Where the hell is this place? Shuiyu asked quickly after seeing Chen. Don't panic, this is a space I created myself, and everything here is under my control, including time, space, and quality. Yuki reading. Hearing Chen's words, Sasuke frowned and said suspiciously. It can be understood like this, but this world is not an illusion, but a real existence. Next, Chen explained his origin space and space functions to Sasuke and the others. Do you understand? In the next period of time, you should stay in this space and improve your strength. I will put some powerful ninjas into this space from time to time. What you have to do just beat them, and when the time comes, I'll call you all out from here again, and that's it. After Chen finished speaking, he ignored everyone's reaction, took Sasuke directly, and left the space, leaving only the 3 people who had not yet digested Chen's words. Chapter 125, the end of this volume. Is it okay for you to put them in there? Sasuke asked Chen, except for the space. Don't worry, there is no danger in that space for the time being, and after they drink pulse, they will be fine even if they don't take food for a long time, and we will have to use their power for everything we do in the future, so they have to improve their strength to benefit us. Whatever you want, since they have all found, what should we do next? Go back to Orochimaru's Yannin village first, which will be the starting point of our rise. Now we still need to use the power of Orochimaru, and Orochimaru is a good master. In the next time, you will do your best. Learn all the skills of Orochimaru, it will benefit you a lot. Fuck. Let's go. After Chen chose the direction, he greeted Sasuke and walked in the direction of Tianjiguo first, while Sasuke followed closely behind him. After returning to Tianjiguo, Orochimaru got the news, and then sent Yoshido to invite Chen and Sasuke to meet him. Chen and Sasuke did not refute Orochimaru's face, and followed the pharmacist to see Orochimaru. Chen-jun, Sasuke, are you back? Orochimaru said with a pitiful smile to Sasuke and Chen Yin in front of him. Yeah, I'll be back when I'm done, of course. Are you worried that I'll kidnap Sasuke? Chen dumped this and said playfully. No, I'm not worried about this. I can still trust Chen-jun. By the way, didn't Chen-jun go and summon Shuiyu and Changwu? Why didn't they come back with Chen-jun? Shuiyu and the others have already left. I have some things for them to complete, so they didn't follow me. What's the matter? Nothing, just a little curious. So, is there anything else? If not, then I'll go down first. I haven't had a good rest these days, and I'm already feeling a little tired. Sorry, I'm really sorry, since Chen-jun is tired, let's go down and rest first. Chen didn't talk nonsense anymore. After greeting each other with Orochimaru, he withdrew and returned to his residence. There are still 3 years left, and the plot will enter the Whirlwind Legend. At that time, the strong people were walking all over the place, and there were as many as dogs. And at that time, the Shao organization also started a plan to collect tailed beasts, but well, I will definitely not let it go. They did it so easily. On the second day, Chen said goodbye to Orochimaru. His reason was to travel around the world of ninja, and he said that he would return to Ninja Village within 3 years. Sasuke stayed in Yinan Village and accepted the guidance of Orochimaru. Although his strength has been able to compete with the elite Sharingan, he relies on the kaleidoscope to write round eyes to achieve that level, so his own strength there is still room for improvement, and his kaleidoscope has already opened his eyes. He used the kaleidoscope as a trump card according to Chen's instructions and did not publicize it, so Orochimaru didn't know about it. As for the skyrocketing strength of Sasuke, Chen used Sasuke to drink. The reason for overpulsation is fooled. After some courtesies, Chen went on the road alone. At the same time, because the ambitious 4-day elephant man appeared in the country of craftsmen, Kingming was resurrected and planned to fight against the 5 ninja kingdoms, and Gaara was captured, and Konoha sent 12 Shaoqiang of Konoha as reinforcements to support. After successfully defeating Kingming, the ancestor of the country of craftsmen, Naruto also traveled with Jiraiya. Stunt, this chapter is used to end this volume, but after thinking about it for a long time, I can't think of how to write it, so this chapter is like this. Please don't mind, it's just a transition anyway, and the next thing is the wind. Drama. Chapter 126, Return. It's too late to feel it from the fingertips, and everything turns into softness around the fingers. Looking back, the head is like frost and snow, and the face is like mountains and rivers. Between the world, if a white horse passes through the gap, it's just suddenly. Time flies very fast, just like the flowing water of a small river. When you are not aware of it, crash, crash, crash. Hours, days, months, years have passed. Time is like an arrow, time is like a shuttle. People have long realized that time will never return in a hurry. Unfortunately, there is no spell to stop time in the world, so we can only let time pass by quickly. 3 years, sometimes it's not too late to blink an eye. Compared with 3 years ago, the ninja world has not changed much. On the whole, the ninja world still maintains a peaceful state. It's just that over the years, Shao's organization has been acting frequently. This mysterious organization has been tracked down by some people who are interested in getting some information about this organization, but apart from Konoha's Jiraiya, no one seems to be aware of them. The goal of. At this time, outside the field of Tien, a group of 4 were on their way to the direction of Yinan Village. Among the 4, the leader is a black-haired, handsome-looking man with a hint of indifference on his face, with a long knife stuck at his waist. The other has white hair, a mouth full of fangs, he also carried a large knife with a size similar to his body behind him. The other was a burly man, with orange hair and a simple and honest smile on his face. He looked very kind and gentle. It is a female ninja with long red hair and a pair of glasses on her face. These 4 people are Chen, who left Yinan Village 3 years ago, and Shuiyu, Changwu, Shangwen and others who were taken into the space by Chen 3 years ago to practice. 3 years later, the appearance of several people happened. Some changes have been made, and the childishness has been taken off. Shuiyu and others were admitted to Chen's space for cultivation 3 years ago, but a year later, Chen released them from the space, and has been taking them around to practice cultivation. Although this is a year, but Chen can adjust the time ratio in the space. Although it has not been adjusted to the level of 10, Shuiyu and the others have stayed in the space for 3 years. When they entered the space, their strength was still very weak. The strongest Changbo was only at the level of special tolerance, and Shuiyu was only the strength of the elites. Shangwen was even more unbearable, and his strength was only just promoted. Chunin. However, 3 years ago, after drinking the pulse given by Chen, their strength greatly increased. In addition, Chen has been capturing some powerhouses from time to time over the years, using a kaleidoscope to write round eyes to make them lose consciousness, and then throw them into space. Inside, as Shuiyu and their opponents. Now their strength is much stronger than the original work. The biggest improvement is Chang'o, who already has the strength of the elite Shangnan. And Xianglin is almost at the level of extreme tolerance, but her ability is only an auxiliary, not a combatant in the team, so she does not need too strong strength, as long as she can protect herself. 2 years ago, after Chen released them from the space, they followed Chen's side all the time and traveled with Chen in the ninja world, but they didn't just travel and play like this. After they were released, Chen took them to find an underground exchange, and then registered his identity. After that, he took up the tasks of A-level and above and hunted down the ninjas on the A-level or above bounties. In this way, while traveling, fighting against powerful ninjas on the bounty order, and collecting all kinds of information in the ninja world. It was not until they got information that it was said that the 5th generation Cage of Sandian village, Sandstorm Gara, was taken away by 2 members of the Xiao organization, and they came back. At this time, Shuiyu walked to Chen's side and said to Chen, "Hey. I said boss, why do we want to echo the ninja village? Isn't it bad for us? And the person Orochimaru is very dangerous." "Shut up, I have my plan." Chen didn't even look at Shuiyu, but said in an indifferent tone. "Shuiyu, it seems that you are very afraid of seeing Lord Orochimaru. Since you are so timid, don't follow us, just hide outside the village and wait for us." Xianglin on the side saw the water you looked like this, and couldn't help but sneered. They are like a pair of enemies, and they are not comfortable without arguing for a day. "Idiot, when did I say I was afraid? But you, I see you seem very happy. I know, you must have not seen Sasuke for too long, so you can't wait to rush back to the sound of Ninja Village." "Right." Hearing Xianglin's sarcasm, Shuiyu retorted reluctantly. Wait, you, what nonsense are you talking about? That's not the case." Shuiyu broke her mind. Xianglin's expression immediately became weird, and she couldn't speak easily, as if she wanted to cover up something. Yeah, I'm right." Shuiyu put her face in front of Xianglin and said with a playful expression. "Baga." Seeing the playful expression on Shuiyu's face, Xianglin burst into flames, raised his fist, and slammed it directly on Shuiyu's head, and Shuiyu's head immediately looked like a water bag filled with water. It exploded the same, but it did not suffer any substantial damage. Chang'o, who was walking behind the team, watched the two of them play. A faint smile appeared on his face, as if he had become accustomed to it. Seeing that the two were planning to continue playing, Chen shouted to stop them. "Okay, don't make trouble, Yunnan village is in front, and Orochimaru probably has the news of our return." "Huh, are you there yet?" Shuiyu raised her head and looked forward after regrouping her head. Sure enough, the gate of a village appeared in his sight. "Sure enough, it's already here. I haven't been back here for a long time, but I didn't expect that there was no change at all." After seeing Yunnan village, Xianglin sighed as a doctor and ignored Shuiyu. At this time, the guards in Yunnan village also discovered Chen Yi and others. "Look, that's Lord Sasuke," a guard exclaimed. No, Lord Sasuke has never left the village. He is Lord Chen. It's Lord Chen who left 3 years ago. He is Lord Sasuke's brother, and Lord Orochimaru once said that Lord Chen is there. The position of the Sound Ninja village is the same as his. "Zoga, it's Lord Chen, I'm going to inform Lord Sasuke," a guard said and ran into the village. "Alas, the beginning of everything is difficult. I have been struggling with where to start." Chapter 127, Reunion after 3 years. When Chen and the others came to the gate of Yunnan village, the guard immediately respectfully saluted Chen and said, "Lord Chen." "Yeah," Chen nodded, then asked, "Can I go in now?" "Yes, Lord Orochimaru has instructed that Lord Chen can freely enter and leave Yunnan village." The guard replied respectfully. "Let's go." Chen ignored the guards, and after saying hello, he walked into Yunnan village first, while Shuiyu and the others followed closely behind him. Strange, the news that I returned to Yinan village should have been reported to Orochimaru. Why didn't Orochimaru send someone to look for us? Walking on the streets of Yinan village, although occasionally passing Yin Ren will show to Chen he was very respectful, or he regarded Chen as Sasuke, but no one took Chen to see Orochimaru. Chen felt very strange and thought to himself, could it be? In the end, Chen caught a passing Yin Ren, and only learned from the Yin Ren that Da Shiwan left Yin Ren village with the pharmacist pocket yesterday. As for the purpose of Da Shiwan, of course these little shrimps would not know. Has Orochimaru left Yinan village? Chen frowned when he heard the news of Orochimaru's departure, and said in his heart, according to the original plot, Deidara and Scorpion, who were organized by Shao, were the 5 generations of Feng who were hidden in the sand. That is, after the incident that Aikido Zuligara took away, the next thing was the collision between Orochimaru and Naruto at the Tiandi Bridge. Could it be that the Tiandi Bridge incident happened in the past few days? Hey, boss, since Orochimaru is no longer in Yinan village, why don't we leave first? Shueyu breathed a sigh of relief when she heard the news of Orochimaru's departure. Those who are afraid of Orochimaru, even after so many years, are still very afraid of Orochimaru. Hey, Shueyu, you really are a coward. Seeing Shueyu's performance, Xianglin certainly wouldn't miss this opportunity to ridicule. Xianglin pushed her glasses and mocked Shueyu. Shueyu just wanted to refute, but after seeing Chen cast a cold glance at him, she immediately shut her mouth in fright and did not dare to speak. Over the years, he has been repaired by Chen a lot. Every time he quarrels with Xianglin, no matter who is right or wrong, it is always him who is unlucky. Chen didn't blame Xianglin, but put the blame on his head. If he dared to talk back, Chen would throw it over with an illusion, so that he didn't even have a chance to defend himself. The good eyes cast him aside, and he closed his mouth reflexively and didn't dare to say anything more. Humph! Seeing that Shueyu didn't talk nonsense anymore, Chen snorted coldly and ignored him, and walked towards his original residence. Changwu and the others had to keep up. On the other side, a guard went to inform Sasuke after recognizing Tatsu's identity. I saw him coming to a room and calling to the room in a very respectful tone, Master Sasuke, Master Chen has returned to Yinan village. However, after a while, there was no response from the room. Na Yinan was surprised, thinking that the people in the room didn't hear it. He couldn't help but increase the volume and continued. Master Sasuke, your brother, Master Chen has returned to Yinan village, won't you go see him? This time, there was a response from the room, but it was not Sasuke's admiration that responded to the guard, but murderous intent. Very murderous. Feeling the strong murderous aura, the guard slumped on the ground, his whole body trembling, cold sweat broke out on his forehead, and he looked at the room in horror. I saw that the door of that room was slowly opened, and a figure gradually emerged, with long black hair, wearing a kimono, with a thick bow tied around his waist and pinned behind him, and a long knife stuck in it. There was no expression on his face on his waist, and what was even more frightening was that his pair of scarlet eyes, each with 3 black guyu slowly turning, was full of murderous aura. It is Sasuke Uchiha. Compared with 3 years ago, Sasuke has undergone tremendous changes in both body and mind. At this time, Sasuke is like a sharp blade out of its sheath, showing its sharp edge. Lord Sasuke. Feeling Sasuke's murderous aura towards him, the guard said tremblingly, Chen. Lord Chen has already returned to Yinan village, and is now rushing here. Are you disturbing my precious lunch break just for this trivial matter? Sasuke said coldly, looking at the shivering guard who was paralyzed on the ground in front of him. I'm very sorry. The guard was trembling and couldn't speak properly. He thought that Sasuke would take this news very seriously, but he didn't expect such a reaction. At this time, Sasuke seemed to sense something, withdrew his murderous intent, ignored the guard, frowned slightly, and looked behind the guard, as if something was about to appear. Yo, Sasuke, it's been a long time. It seems that we are not the only ones making progress over the years. Sure enough, a slightly arrogant voice came from behind the guard, and several figures gradually appeared in Sasuke's sight. It was Chen and the other four, and the arrogant voice just now came from Shueyu. Chen, Lord Chen. Since Sasuke had regained his momentum, the pressure on the guard disappeared. After Chen approached, the guard quickly stood up and saluted Chen. Yeah, go down. Chen didn't look at the guard, but just ordered him to retire. Naturally, the guard didn't dare to stay for a long time. After salute again, he hurriedly withdrew. Really, we didn't even come out to greet us when we arrived at Yinan village, and even let us and the boss come to see you in person. Just when Shueyu was teasing again, Sasuke glared at him with a cold look. And it also added murderous intent, making his words come to an abrupt end. It's Shueyu, it's been a long time, I didn't expect that your annoying problem has not been corrected. Chi. Feeling Sasuke's murderous aura and oppression, Shueyu knew that Sasuke's strength had surpassed him too much, so he didn't dare to talk nonsense, but just snorted unhappily. You're good at strength. Quennying, if you add a kaleidoscope to right round eyes, it can be comparable to the movie level. At this time, Chen, who had not spoken all the time, suddenly looked at Sasuke and said playfully. Humph. Chapter 128, Challenge Chen again. At this time, Sasuke was taking Chen and Shueyu and others out of Yinan village and hurried in one direction. Boss, are we looking for Orochimaru now? Shueyu couldn't help asking aloud on the way. Yes, we've been preparing for so long, it's time to start. But before that, I still have some things to ask Orochimaru. If you're really scared, don't follow. No. Humph. Then stop talking nonsense and keep up. Oh, Shueyu had no choice but to bite the bullet and follow behind Chen. The strength of several people is good, and the speed of the road is certainly not slow. Soon, Sasuke brought Chen and the others to a secret stronghold, but at this time there was no one in the stronghold, and Orochimaru and two were also not here. Where is this? Chen looked around and found that the building here is actually the same as the base where Sasuke and Naruto reunited in the original book. Chen couldn't help showing a playful smile. Is there a problem? Sasuke asked coldly, looking at the smile on Chen's face. It's nothing, I just suddenly thought of something interesting. Since Orochimaru is no longer here, let's wait for him at this stronghold for the time being. I didn't expect Orochimaru to have such a large-scale stronghold here. Chen said with a chuckle. Since 3 years ago, I have been cultivating in this stronghold. After receiving the information from you, I returned to Yinan village. Orochimaru and the pharmacist went out. It seems that they went to see a Shao organization. Member. HMPH Is it the scorpion of red sand? Chen asked with a sneer. It seems to be the name, but how did you know it? Hearing Chen's words, Sasuke's face showed a hint of surprise, but after a short while, he returned to his indifferent expression. Sure enough, that scorpion of red sand seems to be dressed up by Konoha. It seems that the Tiandichao incident is about to happen. Soon, Konoha's people will follow Orochimaru to find this stronghold. After knowing that Orochimaru really went to see the Chisha scorpion, Chen sneered inwardly. Don't worry about this, since Orochimaru is no longer, let's find a place to rest first and wait for him to come back. Sasuke, you are familiar with this place, take us down. Humph, come with me. Keep up, don't get lost. The passages here are crisscrossed in all directions, like a maze. If there is no one to lead the way, you will definitely lose your way. Chen greeted and followed Sasuke. Boss. Shueyu wanted to say something else, but seeing that Chen didn't pay attention to him, she swallowed the words and followed behind Chen helplessly. Next, Chen and others rested in the stronghold for a day under Sasuke's arrangement. After the second day, Orochimaru didn't seem to have returned, and Sasuke, who had nothing to do, challenged Chen again. Chen did not refuse Sasuke's challenge. He also wanted to know how much Sasuke had improved over the years. The two came to the training ground in the stronghold, and Shueyu and Shigego naturally followed to watch the battle. I saw that Sasuke and Chen were looking at each other in the training ground at this time. Let me see how far you have progressed in the past 3 years. Looking at Sasuke's high fighting spirit, Chen was very relaxed, as if he didn't take this battle to heart. Humph, you'll see. Sasuke saw Chen's expression, and felt that he was despised by Chen. Although he was very angry, he didn't show it, but responded with a sneer. Really? It seems that you are very confident. Come on then. Humph. Sasuke didn't talk nonsense anymore. He directly pulled out the long knife in his hand, rushed towards Chen. Chen sneered, and also reached out to hold the hilt at his waist. The long sword in Chen's hand is also a great sword. When he saw that Xueyu had obtained the beheading sword, Chen also thought that he still did not have a weapon that he could handle. Although based on his strength, it is equally powerful with or without weapons, but Chen still exchanged a weapon with the system. This sword was a magical weapon that Chen spent 100,000 points to exchange with the system. But let Chen feel distressed for a while. This knife is called Luguang Xingyan. Forged with special materials, it has a super long blade. As long as you input chakra into the blade will turn red and emit a hot breath. Every attack has the attack bonus of the fire attribute, and the blade will slash on the ground. It can scorch the ground, and this knife also has a powerful function, that is, calling meteorites. I saw that Sasuke attacked Chen in the blink of an eye, and the grass pheasant sword in his hand slashed towards Chen's neck suddenly, without any intention of showing mercy. When a red light flashed, and when Sasuke's attack was close, Chen instantly shot, pulled out the streamer from his waist, blocked Sasuke's attack, and a sense of dryness hit his face, making Sasuke feel uncomfortable for a while, but he reacted immediately. Come over. The left hand has condensed 1,000 birds, and stabbed Chen's body. Huh, boss. Xueyu, who was watching the battle, was shocked when she saw Tatsumoto's attack, and just wanted to rush over, but was held down by Changwu beside him. Changwu. Look, Chen couldn't have been injured so easily. Sure enough, after Sasuke stabbed Chidori into Chen's body, a strange smile appeared on the originally injured Chen face. Quack, quack, quack. I saw that Chen's body suddenly turned into countless crows and dissipated, and then again condensed Chen's body not far away. This is an illusion. Xueyu, who was watching the battle, couldn't help but said, isn't Sharatun capable of seeing illusions? Can't even tell the difference between the boss's illusions and reality. Chi. Sasuke snorted coldly, and instantly completed a set of knots with both hands. Fire escape. The art of fireball. Water escape. Water dragon bomb. When Sasuke formed the seal, Chen also completed a set of seals. Although Chen's seal was faster than Sasuke's, the seal of the water dragon was not obviously much more complicated, but Chen was still there. Completed the ninjutsu at the same time as Sasuke and released it to the opponent. I saw that the two ninjutsu collided in an instant, and both were cancelled out, leaving only a stream of water vapor emitted when the water was boiled, but neither of them had their sightline affected. The tacit understanding does not use the ability to use the kaleidoscope to write the wheel eye, and the battle is entirely based on ninjutsu and taijutsu. At this moment, both of them stopped temporarily and looked at each other. Calvin, today, I originally wanted to design a weapon for the protagonist, but I didn't know how to write it after thinking for a long time, so I had to write the previous artifact. Chapter 129, Sasuke abused again. Looking at the calm Chen, Sasuke secretly said, this level of strength is far from enough. After a short fight, Sasuke seemed to know that he couldn't beat Chen in this state. Sasuke sneered and said to Chen, hey, it seems that this level alone can't force you to full strength, so try again. This one. As soon as the words fell, Sasuke's whole body was immediately completely covered by gray skin, his hair became longer, there was a black pattern of a shuriken on his face, and two wings like duck paws grew on his back, officially Sasuke's curse seal state 2. Is it a curse mark again? It seems that you didn't take my words to heart. Seeing Sasuke's state, Chen frowned and said coldly. Chen told Sasuke about the dangers of the curse seal very early, and told him not to use the power of the curse mark in the future. Unexpectedly, Sasuke did not take his words to heart, and even used the curse mark state in front of him. This made Chen's heart have a trace of anger. Humph! Sasuke didn't talk nonsense. He snorted coldly, waved his knife and charged towards Chen again. This time his speed was much faster than before. It really makes me angry. Chen sneered, and this time he didn't keep his hand. After Sasuke swung the knife at him, the streamer in Chen's hand also slashed at Sasuke. After the two knives collided, a powerful force, the impact force, came from Sasuke's hand, making him almost unable to hold the hilt of the knife. Sasuke was startled, and he used this force to flip back and release the force. However, as soon as he stood up, he felt a heat wave coming from behind. Sasuke knew without looking that it was Chen's streamer. Before he could think about it, Sasuke turned around quickly and held the knife in front of him, blocking Chen's attack. However, Chen's strength was too great, and Sasuke couldn't resist it at all, and was knocked out by Chen. Sasuke waved the palm behind him in the air, trying to control his body balance, but Chen didn't make him too relaxed. When Sasuke was still in the air, he slashed at Sasuke. I saw a crescent-shaped flame sprayed out from Chen's streamer and attacked Sasuke. Damn! Since he was still in the air at this time, Sasuke couldn't change his body shape, and quickly controlled the two palms behind him to wrap himself. The crescent-shaped flame hit Sasuke's palm and exploded. However, Sasuke's palms were still strong, and Chen's attack did not leave any scars on those palms. Yeah, even Sasuke, who has already activated the second spell seal state, seems to have no power to fight back in front of the boss, and the boss seems to be only fighting with the streamer, not even opening the eyes of the writing wheel. What is the strength of the boss? How powerful are you? Looking at the battle on the field, the strength of the quasi-shadow, and Sasuke, who had entered the second curse state and opened the Sharingan, was suppressed by Chen from beginning to end, making Shuiyu not only exclaimed in amazement. Sasuke. Xianglin on the side didn't speak, but couldn't help worrying about Sasuke in his heart. In the field, after seeing Sasuke blocking his attack, Chen snorted and rushed towards Sasuke at an extremely fast speed. The speed was so fast that Sasuke, who had opened his eyes, couldn't keep up. He just saw when the red light hit him, and it rushed in front of him in the blink of an eye. Chidori Ryu. Seeing this, Sasuke hurriedly used Chidori and guided Chidori to the ground, forming an attack to attack Shangchen. Facing the thunder and lightning that hit him, Chen had no choice but to jump into the air and avoid the thunder and lightning's attack. Good opportunity. Sasuke seized this opportunity when he saw Chen rising into the sky, quickly forming a seal with his hands, and released his ninjutsu on Chen in the air. Fire escape. The technique of dragon fire. I saw a flame spewed from Sasuke's mouth and formed the shape of a giant dragon, attacking Chen in midair, and a wave of heat flooded the entire training ground. Facing the Yanlong attacking him, Chen didn't show any signs of panic. He sneered, holding the streamer with both hands and laying it in front of him. One knife flow. Tornado. I saw that Chen's body actually violated the laws of physics in midair, stagnating in the air, and his body rotated at an extremely high speed, like the secret technique of the Hyuga family returning to the sky, forming a huge tornado. Then I saw Chen's body abruptly stopped and slashed at Sasuke. Although Chen's body stopped rotating, the tornado formed by Chen's high-speed rotation just now did not dissipate because of Chen's stop rotating, and it still maintained. At the moment Chen swung the knife at Sasuke, it seemed to be guided. The violent tornado hit Sasuke and collided with Sasuke's dragon fire. Although in the chakra attribute, it is Huo Kefeng, but if the strength gap is large, this limitation will be broken. In an instant, Sasuke's dragon fire was crushed by Chen's tornado, and was sucked into the tornado, turning the tornado into a fire whirlwind, rolling towards Sasuke with a mighty force, unstoppable. Damn, this guy. Facing such an attack, Sasuke couldn't resist. He could only jump to the side, hoping to escape the fire tornado's attack. One blade flow. Qinglong flame. Chen, who was in midair, placed the streamer behind him, and the chakra displayed at this moment took on the shape of a cyan fire dragon, and then suddenly attacked Sasuke on the ground. Damn! Sasuke had just avoided the tornado, and before he had time to stand up, he felt a heat wave and a strong sense of crisis. Sasuke had to put the two palms behind him again in front of him, hoping to be able to use this block Chen's attack. Puff! The sound of a knife slashing into the flesh sounded. Chen's streamer slashed into Sasuke's palm, and a cyan flame erupted from the huge wound, wrapping Sasuke's whole body in an instant. Fortunately, Sasuke at this time was protected by two huge palms, so the blue flame just burned the two huge palms, and did not hurt Sasuke, who was protected by the palms. However, even so, it made Sasuke feel extremely painful and let out a scream. The palm behind him was completely covered by the blue flame. Sasuke kept slapping his palm, trying to put out the flame. However, no matter how he struggled, the blue flame was like gangrene attached to the bones, and it was not extinguished by Sasuke's actions, and even spread to Sasuke's body. Alas tilde, I'm really not good at fighting scenes. I've been stuck here all day, so I've written 2 chapters. Chapter 130, Inexplicable Killing Intent. Humph. Seeing Sasuke's tragic state, Chen snorted coldly and waved the knife at Sasuke again, but this time the target was not Sasuke, but the connection between the two huge palms behind him and Sasuke's back. In an instant, the two palms behind Sasuke were cut off. And after the palms fell to the ground, the cyan flame was still burning, until the palms were completely burned to ashes, and Sasuke also collapsed to the ground. The whole person seemed to be collapsed, and his head was sweating. Breathing heavily. The curse mark on the body gradually retracted into the body, and the whole person returned to the original appearance. Chen stood in front of Sasuke, did not attack again, and put the streamer back into the scabbard around his waist. It's amazing, as expected of the boss, even if you don't need to write a wheel eye, you can repair Sasuke in this state so that he can't fight back. Seeing that the battle was over, Shueyu immediately sighed with emotion. However, Shueyu's emotion did not get a response from others. At this time, Chongo looked at Sasuke in the training ground and was a little worried in the application, but he didn't say anything. Sasuke. Xianglin, who had been worried all the time, ran over to Sasuke immediately after the battle was over, completely ignoring Suzuki's emotion. He still refused to admit that he was interested in Sasuke. When he saw that Sasuke was injured, he couldn't wait to rush over. This woman. Seeing Xianglin's performance, Shueyu showed a playful expression on her face. He said playfully to Shigego, who was beside him. Suzuki, Sasuke is our partner, so partners should care about each other. There is nothing wrong with Xianglin doing this. Shigego responded to Suzuki, and then walked towards the training ground. Really, it doesn't make sense for a person like you. Hearing Changwu's words, Shueyu reluctantly complained, without joking anymore, following Changwu and walking towards the training ground. Xianglin came to Sasuke, stretched out his hand to help Sasuke up, and said worriedly, "Sasuke, are you alright?" Then he rolled up the sleeve of his right hand, exposing an arm, and put it to Sasuke's mouth. "Sasuke, bite my hand." "I'm fine." Sasuke didn't listen to Xianglin's words and bit her arm, but struggled to stand up from the ground. "That guy is fine, my attack didn't hit his vitals, and his body is very resilient, so he won't be a big problem. It's probably fine if he takes a rest." Looking at Xianglin, who was still worried about Sasuke, Chen explained aloud. As Chen said, Chen's attack didn't hit Sasuke's vital point, it just cut off the two fleshy wings behind him. The two wounds also gradually healed, and Sasuke once drank the pulse, so the recovery ability is extraordinary. At this time, Sasuke didn't have any scars except a trace of fatigue. Damn, although he wasn't injured, Sasuke was full of unwillingness. He thought that after 3 years of hard work, after his strength had soared, even if he couldn't defeat Chen, at least he wouldn't be in Chen's hands like he did 3 years ago. Unable to fight back. Unexpectedly, after 3 years of hard work, his strength has increased greatly, and he is still so embarrassed in Chen's hands. Even if he opens the writing wheel and enters the second curse state, he will still be beaten by Chen, although the ability of the kaleidoscope was not used. But don't forget, Chen also did not use the kaleidoscope, and even did not open the ordinary writing wheel. I originally thought that he had become stronger in the past few years, and Sasuke, who was very satisfied with his strength, once again showed his determination to become stronger. At this time, Shigego and Suzuki also came to Sasuke. "Sasuke, are you okay?" Shigego asked Sasuke. "It's okay," Sasuke said coldly. "Okay, that's it for today, let's go." Chen greeted everyone in the Eagle Squad, and then walked out of the training ground first, and everyone followed. In this way, everyone in the Eagle Squad stayed in this stronghold for another day, and then the next morning, Orochimaru still hadn't come back. Knowing about noon, just when everyone felt that today was another day for nothing, Chen suddenly. I sensed that there were 3 chakras approaching this stronghold in the distance. In Chen's sense, 2 of the 3 chakras were familiar to him. One was Orochimaru, the other was the pharmacist pocket, and finally a person's chakrachan feels very strange. It should be someone he has never met, but Chen can already think of that person's identity. I'm finally back. Huh, are you back? Boss, is it Orochimaru? That's right, Orochimaru and Yaoshido are approaching this stronghold. Not only that, they seem to have brought a guest. Chen chuckled, turned to Sasuke and said, "Sasuke, go meet them." Quote. Humph. Sasuke didn't have any dissatisfaction with Chen's words, he just gave a symbolic snort and walked towards the hall of the stronghold. After Sasuke left, Shueyu immediately asked Chen, "Boss, don't we have to see Orochimaru?" "Of course I'm going, I'm here to meet Orochimaru, but let Sasuke go over and say hello to him first." With a stern smile on Chen's face, he secretly said in his heart, if the plot is correct, the person who came back with Orochimaru is Saoi, who was sent by Danzo to assassinate Sasuke. This guy is now from Danzo. Danzo, I will charge you some interest first. At the same time, Tatsu's mind appeared in the information of Sai in the impression. Sai is a ninja who belongs to the special unit, Root, of Konoha Anbu, which is governed by Danzo. She has no feelings, and was trained strictly as a specialized killing tool since she was a child, and she doesn't know anything other than tasks. Good at painting, usually ink painting. After joining Kakasiban, he did not have a good relationship with Sakura and Naruto, but later, under the infection of Naruto, he recalled the time with brother Shin and felt that it was the best, so he decided to disobey the order and help Naruto bring Sasuke back to Konoha. And, if we follow the original plot, this guy seems to have married Ino after the 4th Ninja World War, and gave birth to a child called Yamanaka Aijin. Thinking of this, Chen's body exuded inexplicably a strong murderous aura. Chapter 131, The Return of Orochimaru. Feeling the murderous aura emanating from Chen's body, the members of the Eagle Squad present were startled and looked at Chen in fear. "Old boss, what's wrong with you?" Shueyu asked Chen in a cold sweat, tremblingly. Hearing Shueyu's words, Chen woke up from his thoughts, and found that he was unconsciously exuding murderous aura, while Shueyu, Xianglin and the others all looked at him in horror. Seeing this, Chen immediately dissipated the murderous aura, and smiled bitterly in his heart. "Really, I am inadvertently exuding murderous aura, is it towards Sakai? It seems that I still haven't let go of Ino in my subconscious, so I am thinking of Ino. After marrying Sakai, I unwittingly released my murderous aura. Boss. It's nothing, I just thought of some unhappy things, let's go. Let's meet this guest of Orochimaru." Chen chuckled and shook his head, without saying anything, but took the lead in walking towards the hall of the stronghold, although Shueyu is afraid of Orochimaru, but since Chen, the boss, has gone, he has to bite the bullet and keep up. Anyway, he is from Chen now, and Orochimaru should not be bad for him anymore. At this time, in the hall of the stronghold, Orochimaru and Yaoshido took Sajing into the hall, and a figure hidden in the darkness appeared in their sight. Immediately afterwards, the figure opened his eyes, and a pair of scarlet writing wheel eyes were still so conspicuous even in the dark. That figure was Sasuke, who came to greet them. "You were late." Sasuke glanced at the three who had just entered the hall, and said indifferently, "Orochimaru." "Sasuke-kun, you spoke to Lord Orochimaru in this tone again," the pharmacist said with a frown. "Don't be so angry, although I came back late, I got a nice gift today." Orochimaru raised a weird smile on his face, responded to Sasuke with his equally weird voice, and glanced at him standing beside him said, who continued, "Like you, a ninja from Konoha, maybe you can talk to him about the hometown you miss." Humph. Hearing Orochimaru's words, Sasuke turned his attention to Sakai beside Orochimaru, showing a disdainful expression. Sakai squinted his eyes, then showed an extremely fake smile, and said with a light smile to Sasuke, "First time meeting, my name is Sasuke, you are Uchiha Sasuke." Long-winded, Sasuke interrupted Sakai indifferently, but Sakai didn't show any dissatisfaction, he still had that fake smile on his face, and then continued, "Even if I put on a smiling face, it seems that I am easy to be hated by others. Well, Naruto hates me too. But, compared to Naruto, I might get along better with you." Hearing the celebrity's name, Sasuke's eyes that had been removed from Sakai's body turned back to Sakai's body. After Sasuke's words were finished, Sasuke's eyes narrowed slightly, and then suddenly opened. Sasuke, who looked at Sasuke, seemed to see something terrible, with a sluggish expression on his face, and seemed to be a little scared, slowly took a few steps back, and then suddenly collapsed on the ground. Yakushido, who had eaten Sharanyan's loss, immediately understood what was going on, and shouted at Sasuke, "Sasuke!" Sakai, who was slumped on the ground, also came back to his senses. Suddenly, he felt something strange on his face. He reached out and wiped it and found it was cold sweat. The eyes met for a moment, and even in the depths of my heart that I couldn't detect, was I actually afraid of Sasuke. You'd better not have any thoughts about him, he is more difficult to deal with than me." Seeing Sakai's actions, Orochimaru said to Sakai with a sneer, "That kind of guy is not important at all, compared to this. You teach me new ninjutsu, Orochimaru." At this time, Sasuke stood up from the ground and said to Orochimaru. At this time, Sakai, who was slumped on the ground, said again, "I heard a lot from Naruto. It seems that he has been looking for you for the past 3 years. Hey, has there ever been such a guy?" Sasuke said with a sneer, then ignored Sakai and said to Orochimaru, "Let's go, Orochimaru." Then he turned around and wanted to leave first. "Naruto treats you as his own brother, I heard this from Sakura." Just as Sasuke Tsunade left, Sakai was born again and said, causing Sasuke to stop and stare blankly back. To Sakai, "My brother is the man I personally want to end, and me, Uchiha Chen." Just before Sasuke had finished the rest, a voice similar to Sasuke's came from behind Sasuke. Except for Sasuke, everyone present seemed to be surprised, but Orochimaru showed a playful smile after being surprised, while Yoshido was dignified. Several figures came out of the corridor behind Sasuke. The one at the head, except for the different clothes on his body, was exactly the same as Sasuke in appearance, figure and height, and looked like Sasuke's shadow clone. If not familiar with the situation of these two people, maybe they really regarded them as a body, and one as a shadow clone. These few people who just came out of the corridor are none other than Sasuke's twin brother Uchiha Chen and other members of the Eagle Squad. After Zaichin walked out of the corridor and appeared in Sakai's line of sight, Sakai, who had a fake smile on his face, showed a surprised expression, and his heart was even more surprised. "He is Uchiha Chen. How could he be here? Could it be that after he defected from Konoha, he also took refuge in Orochimaru?" However, Sai is also an elite member of the Root department, so his mind has long been honed to the extent that he is not affected by external forces. It should be said that it is rarely affected. So, after a short period of surprise, he recovered and said to himself, "Uchiha Chen, I didn't expect him to hide in Orochimaru after he defected to Konoha. It's no wonder that no news of him was found in the ninja world. He was also the target of assassination. This time just to get rid of their brothers in one fell swoop. Chapter 132, Konoha Chaser. Uchiha Chen, one of the two surviving orphans of the Uchiha family after it was wiped out by Uchiha Itachi, and Uchiha Sasuke are twin brothers. Uchiha Chen's talent in the ninja school was higher than that of Uchiha Sasuke, but after the genocide tragedy, the whole person became a fool and faded out of everyone's attention. 3 years ago, after Uchiha Sasuke defected to Konoha, Uchiha Chen also lost news, but what happened next was beyond everyone's expectations. Uchiha Chen, who was regarded as an idiot by everyone, after defecting to Konoha, the first thing he did was to destroy the Xingyan village in the Kingdom of Bears with a strong attitude, and took away the sacred object, Star, of Xingyan village, and then even more. Slaughtered and kidnapped the ninjas of Sandian village, coerced the 5th generation Kazekage Sandstorm Gaara of Sandian village, fought against the Konoha reinforcements who supported Sandian at the time, and defeated the elite Joninka, known as the Konoha Copy Technician. The identity of the Konoha reinforcements led by Cassie, Uchiha Chen's identity was also exposed at the time, and was later positioned by Konoha as an S-class rebel. After committing these two major incidents, Uchiha Chen was dormant again and lost news in the ninja world. Just after Chen appeared in Sakai's line of sight, Sakai was surprised at first, but he recovered in an instant, and all kinds of information about Chen quickly appeared in his mind. Uchiha Chen. Konoha's S-class betrayal is the same target of assassination as his brother Uchiha Sasuke. Very good, this time just happens to be able to kill their brothers in one fell swoop. Looking at Uchiha Chen in front of him, although Sakai still has a fake smirk on his face, he has long regarded Chen as a target in his heart. It turns out that Chen-jun is back, it's been a long time no see. Orochimaru looked at Chen and the others, and said with a sinister smile. Long time no see, Orochimaru. Chen responded with a sneer, and then turned his eyes to Sakai who was standing beside Orochimaru and said playfully, "The ninja of Konoha, I really miss you." Yes, this child is a ninja born in Konoha like you, and it was sent by Shimura Danzo, the leader of Konoha's root organization, to contact me. Danzo also brought me a good gift. Orochimaru raised a portfolio in his hand and said to Chen with a strange smile. Danzo. After Orochimaru said Danzo's name, Sasuke, who was still expressionless, frowned slightly. First meeting, I'm Sakai. I'm not interested in knowing who you are. Chen interrupted Sakai's self-introduction with a sneer. Nuoga. Although Chen interrupted, Sakai didn't show any dissatisfaction, and still squinted and smirked. Chen ignored Sakai, but said to Orochimaru, Orochimaru, I originally wanted to ask you about something, but since you still have something to do, I'll come to you after you've dealt with it. Regardless of everyone's reaction, he turned around and left the hall, and the members of the Eagle Squad also followed Chen. Master Orochimaru, this Uchiha Chen seems to be taking you less and less. After Zaichen's Eagle team left the hall, the pharmacist frowned and said in front of Orochimaru. Capable people will always be a little arrogant, don't worry about it, I should go to pocket, make the contents here into a file of hunting objects. Orochimaru handed over the file bag in his hand. The pharmacist pocketed and ordered. Yes, Lord Orochimaru, the pharmacist said respectfully after pocketing the result file. I'll leave the rest to you, Orochimaru said and left the hall, leaving only Yakushito and Konoha's Saoi. After Orochimaru left, the pharmacist took out the contents of the file bag in his pocket, and found that it turned out to be all the ninja files of some Konoha ninjas. Each file was marked with several big characters, Assassination Tactics Special Forces. This is a copy of the list of members of the Naruto Direct Forces, Anbu. Yakushi looked through a few sheets, and found a ninja file of Konoha Ninja and Tianzang Yamato who had just fought against him not long ago. Looks like it's the real deal. On the other side, Chen took the members of the Eagle Squad back to the room where they stayed before. "Boss, didn't you want to find Orochimaru before? Then why did we just leave?" Shueyu couldn't help asking after returning to the room. "A few Konoha mice have sneaked into this stronghold, so he won't have time to pay attention to us next." "Did Konoha's people sneak into this stronghold? Did they follow Orochimaru to find it here?" Hearing Chen's words, Shueyu said in surprise, "But, why are people like Orochimaru being followed and not found?" "No, I'm not following Orochimaru. Strictly speaking, I'm following the Konoha ninja named Sai. I sensed a special chakra on him just now. This trace of chakra is very special and ordinary people can't sense it. If it wasn't for me, I may not be able to sense the chakra with the same attribute on my body. It should be Mudun." Mudun. After Konoha's first Hokage, is there anyone other than the boss who can use Mudun? Shueyu exclaimed. The fact that Chen was able to use Mudun was already known to everyone in the Eagle Squad. Although they were also surprised when they first learned about it, when they thought of Chen's perverted strength and all kinds of magic, they quickly accepted it. Now that they learned from Chen's mouth that someone else was able to use Mudun, they fell into surprise again. "You can't be wrong, it's Mudun. At the beginning, Orochimaru said that he used the cells of the first Hokage to transplant 60 babies, but only one baby survived, and this baby also mastered the special feature of Mudun Ninjutsu. I think the Mudun chakra on Sai's body should be the hands and feet of this person. The base has mixed in the Konoha ninja who can use Mudun. Don't we need to inform Orochimaru?" At this time, Shigego said. "No need, this is Orochimaru's territory, he can handle it himself, and Sasuke, it seems that there are people you are familiar with this time Konoha came, don't you want to say hello?" Chen turned around and pondered said to Sasuke in a tone of voice. "Not interested." Sasuke didn't care at all when he heard Chen's words, and didn't even ask who it was. Instead, he said to Chen expressionlessly, "Compared to this, it's time for my nap." Then, ignoring Chen, he left first and walked towards his room. Chapter 133, Assassination Uchiha Chen. After Sasuke left, the other members of the Eagle Squad stayed at Chen's side for a while, but also returned to their room, leaving Chen alone all of a sudden. "If I'm not wrong, Naruto has sneaked into the base now. We'll be waiting for the next show." Thinking of this, Chen lay down on the bed and planned to take a nap as well. After an unknown amount of time, Chen, who had been sleeping in bed with his eyes closed, suddenly opened his eyes, and at the same time showed a playful smile on his face. Because he suddenly sensed a slight movement approaching his room. "It's that guy. Do you think that if you control your chakra, you won't be noticed? It seems that he takes me as a target. It's really a newborn calf that's not afraid of tigers." The guy Chen was talking about was none other than Sakai, who was sent by Danzo to assassinate Sasuke. Originally, his target was only Sasuke, but today, after he met Chen, he also regarded Chen as his target. After Zongchen and others in the hall and Orochimaru left before, he was taken to a room by the pharmacist and locked in the room, restricted from freedom and unable to go out. Until the Uzumaki Naruto, Haruno Sakura, and the new captain of the 7th class, Yamato Tianzang, who followed Sai and dived into the secret stronghold of Orochimaru, found him by chakra sensing, and was used by Yamato to escape. He grabbed it, and was rescued by the pharmacist Do who came over. However, before Yakushido appeared, Sakai had already been bombarded by Naruto's mouth, and his temperament had changed. He changed the original mission of assassinating Sasuke to capture Sasuke alive. After Yakushido rescued him, he turned his back. He grabbed the pharmacist's pocket. While Naruto was not paying attention, another person slipped away, and then sneaked into Orochimaru's base again, looking for the target of his mission, Uchiha Sasuke, and Uchiha Chen who he had just seen. And when Naruto sneaked into the stronghold to look for Sasuke, he was finally noticed by Orochimaru. Orochimaru showed up in person and intercepted the three of Konoha. Finally, because he thought that Konoha's people might be able to clean up for him. Akatsuki's organization, so let Naruto go, and then left. Since this stronghold has been discovered by the people of Konoha, there is no possibility of staying there, so he plans to find Sasuke, and then take Sasuke to evacuate this stronghold. On the other side, Sakai used the secret technique. The ink mouse transformed from the Super Beast pseudo-painting found the room where Chen was. At this time, he was carefully coming to the door of the room where Chen was. After he carefully pushed Chen's door open, he found that at this moment, Chen was lying on the bed with his back to him, seemingly unaware of the danger. I saw that Sai took out a blank scroll from the ninja bag behind him, placed it on the ground and spread it out, then used a brush to quickly draw several long snakes on the blank scroll, and then put his hands together to form a knot. Became a special handprint. Ninja, Super Beast fake painting. After Sai's handprints were formed, the snakes that were originally drawn with ink on the scroll actually came to life, exhaled, jumped out of the scroll, and swam towards the room where Chen was, and soon he came to Chen's bed, raised the snake's head, and made an attacking gesture. Uchiha, everything ends here. Suddenly, Sakai's expression froze, and the snake he drew seemed to have received some order, and immediately launched an attack, attacking Chen on the bed, tying Chen's entire body quickly with his body, and constantly tightening it, extrusion. I saw Chen lying on the bed. After being rolled up by the snake, he seemed to wake up and struggled hard, but because his neck was restrained by the snake's body, he couldn't make a sound, and could only hear a small whimper. After a while, the strength of Chen's struggle on the bed became less and less, until he completely lost his life. Sajing released the snake that was holding Chen tightly, and Chen's body spread out on the bed after the long snake was released. Violently, with his mouth wide open, he looked like he was suffocated to death. Looking at the corpse of Chen Uchiha with a distorted expression on the bed, Saoi narrowed his eyes, and the extremely fake smile appeared on his face again. The target has been confirmed, Chen Uchiha is dead, the assassination mission is complete. Really? Just when Sakai was about to cut off Chen's head and seal it into the scroll, a playful voice suddenly sounded behind him. At the same time, an extremely dangerous signal sounded in his heart, and the expression on his face was stagnant. Before he could turn around. At that time, a long knife had stabbed into his back and penetrated from his chest. Although it has been penetrated by the long knife, Sakai does not seem to feel pain, and there is no expression of pain or fear on his face, but he looks suspiciously at the corpse of Uchiha Chen on the bed. I saw that the corpse, with a distorted expression, was changing, and it gradually turned into a piece of wood. Is this a wooden avatar? So it is. After learning the result, Sakai, who was pierced through his body, also changed, gradually turning into a pool of black ink. Hey the ink clone, it seems that the main body should be in Sasuke's place. After seeing Sakai turned into a pool of black ink, Chen also put the streamer in his hand back on his waist. It turns out that Chen left the bed after realizing that Sakai was approaching, and left a wooden clone on the bed. The Chen attacked by Sakai was actually Chen's wooden clone. After Sai thought that Uchiha Chen was killed, Chen also appeared from the shadows and killed Sakai in one fell swoop. Unexpectedly, this Sakai was also a clone, so there was the previous scene. Just after Chen put Lu Guang back on his waist, the other members of the Eagle Squad also rushed into Chen's room. "Boss, what happened?" Shuiyu asked anxiously as soon as she entered the door. "It's okay, I was just interrupted by a mouse for my nap," Chen said jokingly. "Rat." Shuiyu didn't react for a while. Shangfeng looked at the pool of brown ink on the ground doubtfully, and said, "There is a trace of chakra flowing in the ink on the ground, it seems to be a clone or something. Could it be that the trace of chakra fluctuation just now is someone else's? Assassinated you?" "What? Someone assassinated the boss?" Shuiyu exclaimed when she heard Shanglin's words. "Humph. That's true, I have to say, your vigilance is really bad." Chen's sentence was addressed to Shuiyu and Shigego. "Forget it, you'll be careful in the future." Boom. Just when Chen was planning to lecture Shuiyu and the others, a loud noise came from a distance, interrupting his words. "I'm sorry, I had a problem with my body yesterday. My waist and legs hurt so bad. I couldn't sit still, so I couldn't update it. I could only barely finish a chapter, and I still made up the number of words. Chapter 134, The 7th Class Reunion. In the room where Chen was, Chen, who was originally speaking to Shuiyu and the others of the Eagle Squad, was interrupted by a loud noise from a distance. What happened again? That direction came from Sasuke's room. Shang Feng looked in the direction of the voice and exclaimed, with a worried expression on his face. It looks like it's starting. Let's go, let's join in the fun. Chen's face showed a playful expression. He greeted the members of the Eagle Squad, and then walked in the direction of the loud noise. The Eagle Squad followed closely behind him. At this time, something similar to Chen also happened in Sasuke's room on the other side, that is, Sakai's assassination mission. While letting the Avatar find Chen, Sakai's deity was also looking for Sasuke's location. Relying on the drawn ink mouse, he quickly found Sasuke's room. Sasuke also stayed in the room to take a nap. Then, just when Sakai was going to use Tongfang's method to capture Sasuke, he suddenly received a message that the clone had been killed. Let the movement in his hand pause, and then showed a weird smile, secretly said in his heart, I was killed, sure enough, I can defeat the famous Hitaki Kakashi in Anbu, with an ink clone, it really can't be done. As for the mission, it seems that I have been exposed. In that case, I have to speed up and solve Sasuke Uchiha before they find me. Thinking of this, Sakai didn't hesitate anymore, and quickly put the blank in his hand. Several black snakes were drawn on the scroll, and they swam towards Sasuke, who was taking a nap. Who is it? At this time, Sasuke, who was taking a nap, made an indifferent voice, but didn't turn around. Even though the snakes took an attacking stance towards him, Sasuke didn't do anything, as if he didn't care at all. Sure enough, is it still exposed? However, I already have the advantage now. After Sasuke said, Sasui knew that he had been exposed, so he didn't hide and pushed open Sasuke's door directly. What's your purpose? Sasuke, who was lying on the bed, still didn't do anything, but said calmly. On the order of Danzo-sama, my mission is to destroy you, but I've changed my mission now. I want to take you back to Konoha. Said Naruto's words appeared in Sai's mind, his face again once he showed that weird smile and continued. Originally, my purpose was to kill you, but I want to protect the bond with you that he desperately tried to save. Just for that sort of thing, disturbing my nap. Humph. Sakai's expression changed, and he issued an order to the black snake, only to see that several black snakes quickly attacked Sasuke on the bed, tying him tightly in an instant. Boom. I saw that where Sasuke was trapped by the snake was, a huge explosion suddenly occurred, blasting all the rocks on the top floor of the room, exposing the room that was originally underground. Yamato and others in the base also felt the explosion, and then rushed towards this side. At this time, Sasuke was jumping to the top of a high ground, looking down at Sakai below, without any expression on his face. Sasuke Uchiha really deserves his reputation. He was able to forcibly break free of my technique. Sasuke, who was affected by the explosion just now, stood up from the ground and looked at Sasuke above. Are you a member of the Root organization serving Danzo? Yes. Nuoga. If that's the case, then you don't have to leave alive today. After receiving Sakai's confirmation, Sasuke showed a stern expression, and his body exuded a strong murderous aura. Feeling Sasuke's murderous aura, Sasuke's face became solemn, and he looked at Sasuke vigilantly. At this time, a figure suddenly ran out of the stronghold and rushed in front of Sai, grabbed Sai's collar and raised his fist at the same time, trying to greet Sai's face, and at the same time asked angrily, "What do you want to do? How many times do you have to betray us?" "It's Sakura," Sasuke said to the figure in an extremely indifferent tone after seeing the person coming. After hearing Sasuke's voice, Haruno Sakura was stunned for a moment, her expression full of disbelief. She gradually loosened her hand holding Sasuke, and then silently turned to look at the source of the voice. This voice is Sasuke. Naruto, who was behind Sakura, seemed to have noticed something when he saw Sakura's expression, and immediately ran over desperately. After seeing Sasuke, he also showed a dull expression. It's Naruto. You're here too, so Kakashi should be here too. It's a pity, Kakashi-senpai didn't come, but I will be the leader of the 7th class for the time being. Yamato also walked out of the stronghold and answered Sasuke's question. Next, the 7th class will take you back to Konoha. Class 7. Sasuke glanced indifferently at the newly formed 7th class below, Naruto Uzumaki, Sakura Haruno, Yamato Tianzang, and Sai, and finally settled on Sai. After Sasuke noticed Sasuke's gaze, he reached out to the hilt on his back, and suddenly pulled out the short knife. Seeing Sakai's actions, Sakura immediately drank. Sakai, what do you want to do? Is that guy my alternate? Another innocent guy came in. What do you want to protect the bond between me and Naruto? Sasuke mocked. Sai, your mission is not. Hearing Sasuke's words, Sakura froze for a moment and asked Sakai. Indeed, my extremely secret mission is to assassinate Sasuke, but the order doesn't matter anymore. I want to act according to my own thoughts now. It was Naruto who reminded me, my previous feelings, I think, that is very important something. Then, Sakai raised his head suddenly and said to Sasuke, although I don't know you well, there must be some reason why Sakura and Naruto are chasing you so desperately. They don't want to abandon their bond with you, desperately trying to protect this bond. I don't quite understand it yet. But Sasuke, you should be able to understand it. Sasuke closed his eyes, and then suddenly opened them again. Ah. I understand, that's why. I have to cut it off. Chapter 135, Speechless. At this time, outside the stronghold of Orochimaru, Sasuke is confronting Konoha's new 7th class members. Too many fetters will only confuse you, weaken your strongest desires and your most important memories. Sasuke said indifferently. If that's the case, why didn't you kill me in the Valley of the End? Why didn't you kill me at that time? Naruto said painfully. Do you think this is called cutting off the bond? Sasuke. The reason is very simple. It's not that I can't cut off the bond between you and you, it's just that I don't want to follow his method to get power. Uchiha Itachi said, kill the best partner to get the kaleidoscope. What the hell does that mean? There's no need to tell you, but I can tell you. At that time, your little life was only saved on a whim. Suddenly, Sasuke's figure suddenly disappeared from everyone's sight, appeared in front of Naruto and put one hand around Naruto's shoulder, and the other hand held the hilt at his waist. So fast, everyone said in shock. After coming to Naruto, Sasuke did not rush to do it. By the way, don't you dream of becoming a Hokage? If you have time to pursue me, you might as well do some practice. Right, Naruto. Then, Sasuke slowly he pulled out the long sword from his waist. So this time, on my whim. Maybe your life will be lost. After speaking, he suddenly swung the sword at Naruto. Sasuke. Seeing that Naruto was about to die under Sasuke's sword, at the critical moment, I saw Sasui appearing behind Naruto in an instant, and at the same time reached out and grabbed Sasuke's wrist, so that he could not continue to chop down, and Naruto also reflecting it, he took the opportunity to grab Sasuke's other arm, and Yamato next to him saw that Sasuke was entangled by Naruto and Saoi, and immediately cast a wooden escape, trying to tie Sasuke. Humph! Chidori Ryu. Sasuke snorted coldly and instantly displayed Chidori flow, while Naruto and Saoi, who were clinging to Sasuke, were immediately knocked to the ground by the powerful current, paralyzed by the current and lost their ability to move. Even the wooden dungeon that Yamato stretched out to Sasuke was shattered by Chidori Ryu, unable to extend it. At this time, Sasuke was full of thunder and lightning, making a noise like 1,000 birds chirping. And Sakura made a decision in her heart after seeing Naruto's fall, clenched her fists and rushed towards Sasuke. Sasuke. Just use my strength to stop it. Facing Sakura who was attacking him, Sasuke didn't have any emotional fluctuations in his eyes, and the knife in his hand slashed towards Sakura, showing no mercy at all. Oops, that guy's eyes. Do you want to kill Sakura? Yamato on the side noticed Sasuke's eyes, and rushed forward without thinking, blocking Sasuke's knife and saving Sakura, but he was stabbed in the shoulder by Sasuke's knife, and the chakra of the thunder attribute was continuously transmitted from Sasuke's knife, making his body paralyzed and unable to move. My grass pheasant sword is a bit special, it's undefendable. Haha, it's really capable, Sasuke. You've solved Konoha's ninja so quickly. Just as Sasuke was about to pretend, a joking voice sounded behind him. Sasuke didn't have to look back to know who made the sound. Humph, Shueyu, do you want to taste the grass pheasant sword too? Sasuke, who pretended to be interrupted, turned his head in annoyance and looked behind him indifferently. At this time, a group of people was walking slowly from the stronghold to this side. It was Uchiha Chen and the members of the Eagle Squad. It was Shueyu who made that playful voice just now. That's Uchiha Chen. He's actually here too. Could it be that he defected with Sasuke before? Sakura and Yamato thought in surprise when they saw that it was Chen who came out. Yeah, I'm just telling the truth. After hearing Sasuke's words, Suzuki waved his hand and said indifferently. Humph. Sasuke snorted coldly, not arguing with Shueyu again. At this moment, Naruto, who was originally hit by Sasuke's Chidori Ryu, had lost his ability to move. Naruto's injured nails grew longer, his eyes turned into beast-like vertical pupils, and his teeth also changed. It turned into sharp fangs, and it is exactly what it looks like to enter the state of a tailed beast. Seeing Naruto's appearance, Sasuke's mouth twitched up, showing a playful expression, and then the writing wheel turned and instantly entered Naruto's consciousness. Hee, interesting. Seeing this, Chen also showed a playful smile. As for Sasuke, no one knew what he did to Naruto, but saw that he glared at Naruto with his writing wheel eyes, and then Naruto's strangeness gradually retreated, and then returned to normal. Have you seen that monster? After Naruto returned to normal, Chen walked over to Sasuke and said thoughtfully. Shredded. Sasuke returned without hesitation, as if Ninetales was a harmless little animal, and he didn't pay attention to it at all. Really? So what are you going to do next? Of course Chen knew that Sasuke's shredding wasn't really shredding the Ninetales, but suppressing the chakra condensed by the Ninetales. Humph. Sasuke didn't answer Chen's words, but snorted coldly, then turned to leave here. Sasuke. Just after Sasuke turned to walk away, Naruto shouted again, Why don't you understand? Your body will be taken away by Orochimaru sooner or later. Then go with the flow, and that's my business, not yours. You're still like a child, Naruto. To me, revenge is everything. As long as I can revenge, I'm fine. This world, well, no matter how it changes, it has nothing to do with me. To be honest, I don't have the ability to take revenge right now, but if I can get powerful power by handing this body to Orochimaru, then this life. As much as I want. How much? Sasuke. Sasuke's answer shocked both Naruto and Sakura. They didn't expect that Sasuke would even give up his own life in pursuit of power for revenge. They were stunned for a while. Looking at Sasuke, he didn't know what to say for a while. Chapter 136. Evacuate the stronghold. At this time, Naruto, who was shocked by Sasuke's words, was stunned for a while. Although he wanted to say something else, it was obvious that Sasuke would not listen to him anymore. Damn, Chen, are you just watching Sasuke fall into the abyss? He's your brother. Why didn't you stop him when you were by his side? Why? Seeing that Sasuke couldn't be convinced, Naruto attacked again. Chen next to Sasuke shouted. Chi, that's his own business, it has nothing to do with me. Chen sneered at Naruto and said playfully. Damn, how can you be so indifferent? He is your brother. Have you finished speaking? You still worry about yourself. I let you go last time, and I seem to have said that if you dare to interfere with me, I will destroy you all. Therefore, you are the most, please be honest with me. Chen said with a sneer as he looked at Naruto and Sakura and other members of the 7th class with disdain. You. Just when Naruto was about to say something, Yamato, who had been hit on the shoulder by Sasuke and lost his mobility, recovered after Sasuke retracted his long sword, struggled to stand up, and walked to Naruto's side. Stopped Naruto, who was about to say something. This is the end of the gossip. Naruto, Sakura, I don't seem to use rough methods in front of you, but now it seems. I'm sorry, I have to be serious. Captain Yamato. Real. Hearing Yamato's words, Sakura and Naruto were surprised again and looked at Yamato. And you, Uchiha Chen. Just like Orochimaru, you can't let those who defected, no matter what means you use, I will take you back to Konoha. Oh, no matter what means. I really want to see it. Then, what are you going to do? After Yamato finished saying that, Chen replied jokingly. Is it Konoha? I've had enough of you. Sasuke's response was that he inserted the grass pheasant sword under his feet, then quickly formed a seal with both hands, and then slowly raised his right hand, condensed on his hand. A powerful burst of chakra, done you all. Be careful. Seeing Sasuke's actions, Yamato immediately shouted to Naruto and the others vigilantly, and at the same time, he quickly took the seal in his hand and seemed to be planning to stop Sasuke. However, at this moment, a hand grabbed Sasuke's raised wrist, stopping his next movement. Don't use that technique, Sasuke. This person is Orochimaru. Seeing the appearance of the person coming, Naruto exclaimed, and then stared at Orochimaru with an angry expression. It's all about him. It's all because of him that Sasuke. After Sasuke was grabbed by Orochimaru's wrist, he turned his head and glanced at Orochimaru indifferently. Let go. I have no reason to stop. Sasuke, I advise you to think about it calmly. You also know the current trend of the Akatsuki organization. I plan to let the guys from Konoha help clean up the people of the Akatsuki organization, even if it is to kill one. If other members of the organization interfere, your revenge won't go well. What a ridiculous reason, Sasuke said disapprovingly. Now he is not so keen on seeking revenge for Itachi. Although he still hates Itachi in his heart, it is only because there is still a trace of bitterness in his heart. After confessing his true thoughts back then, he, like Chen, had already regarded Konoha as a real enemy, but Orochimaru and the others didn't know about it. But Sasuke still put his hand down. Then Orochimaru walked up to Chen and said, Chen-jun, this stronghold has been discovered by Konoha's people, we should evacuate. Is Chen-jun planning to leave with us? Really? If that's the case, let's go together. I would have come back to find you. But before said this, Chen looked at Sakai with a stern expression on his face. Huh. Sakai was startled when he noticed Chen's gaze, and his expression was full of alertness. And Yamato also noticed something, came to Sai, and put Sai Momo, who had not fully recovered because of Sasuke's Chidori Ryu, behind him. He still kept the seal that was completed just now on his hand, and he could activate it at any time. Is there anything else you need to solve, Chen-jun? Orochimaru looked at Sakai and asked Chen in confusion, while secretly speculating in his heart. It seems that Uchiha Chen is very interested in that child named Sakai. Ah, are you trying to kill him? Did they have any festivals before? This should be their first meeting, how strange. Boss, are you trying to kill him? Could it be that he was the one who attacked you just now? After noticing Chen's gaze, Shueyu looked strangely at Sakai on Konoha's side and asked Chen. Forget it, it's alright, let's go too. Seeing Yamato keeping Sakai behind him, Chen chuckled a few times, but didn't do anything to them, although with Chen's current strength, wanting to kill them is just a slap in the face. He could do it with his hands, but he didn't do it. As Orochimaru said, they will be the main force to deal with Uchiha Obito and Uchiha Madara in the future. There are no eternal friends, nor eternal enemies, only eternal interests. The enemy of the enemy is a friend. Anyway, killing them is not good for Chen. Keeping them can cause some trouble to Madara Uchiha and even Kagaya, so why not do it? Thinking of this, Chen chuckled a few times, greeted the members of the Eagle Squad, and then disappeared in front of Konoha with Orochimaru. For Chen and their departure, Yamato did not stop him, but he had heard that Kakashi-senpai, whom he had always admired, was defeated by Chen Uchiha, and now there is another such as Orochimaru. Man, he would not be arrogant and think that he can stop that group of people with his own strength. After Chen and the others left, he breathed a sigh of relief. Naruto knelt on the ground when he saw Sasuke leaving in front of him again, but he was powerless to stop it, sobbing in pain. Sakura and Yamato are also full of sadness. Looking at Naruto kneeling on the ground, Sakura walked up to him and said to him, "No matter how much you cry. No matter how much you cry, Sasuke will never come back. And I'm here, and I'll become stronger with you. Yes, I won't cry anymore, I must become stronger, thank you, Sakura." After hearing Sakura's words, Naruto wiped the tears from his eyes and stood up from the ground. The expression became firm. We still have time, it's just the beginning. Chapter 137, Arrival in the Land of Thunder. The previous chapter is void. After Chen followed Orochimaru and the others back to Yinan village, they discussed how to deal with the Shao organization. After learning that the Shao organization used 2 people as a group to capture the tail orc Zuli, they all thought that they could be taken one by one. Wipe out. Since Chen Jun has already decided to deal with Shao organization, what do you want me to do? Inform me about the movements of each member of Akatsuki's organization and each tailed beastman Zuli. Is it just providing information? Could it be that Chen Jun is planning to deal with Shao himself? Doesn't we need Yin Ren to take action? Hearing Chen's words, Orochimaru said playfully. As you please, you are willing to take action. We are naturally happy. If you choose to stand by, then we can deal with Shao organization ourselves. Chen snorted coldly and said indifferently. Suoga, although I really want to help Chen Jun, but my physical condition has been deteriorating in recent years, and it's still a little difficult to deal with the powerhouses of the Shao organization, because my reincarnation time is short. It's coming, so I plan to help Chen Jun after I'm reincarnated. And Konoha's people still seem to be eyeing me, so before I'm reincarnated, I still don't want to cause too much trouble for myself. Humph. Chen snorted disdainfully at Orochimaru's words, and then said with a sneer, haha. It's a very good deal. Let us be responsible for solving the Shao organization, and you only paid a little bit of information. Even if you fail, you will have nothing to lose. Is this the so-called cooperation? Although I plan to do it myself from the beginning. Chen Jun don't need to be angry, although I won't do it myself, but as Chen Jun said before, I can collect information on Shao organization for Chen Jun, as well as the movements of Shao organization members. When necessary, Chen Jun can borrow my voice. The power of Shinobi Village. Seeing that Chen seemed dissatisfied, Orochimaru hurriedly laughed a few times and responded to Chen. In the end, Chen reached an agreement with Orochimaru, and Orochimaru would inquire about the information of Shao's organization on behalf of Chen, and Chen was responsible for solving the members of Shao's organization who had been singled out. Show any dissatisfaction. At this time, Chen and the members of the Eagle Squad were on their way to the Land of Thunder. Boss, why did you agree to Orochimaru? In this way, we are all at a disadvantage. Orochimaru only provided a little information, but we have to work hard, it's not worth it. On the way to the Land of Thunder, Shui Wan, the more you thought about it, the more aggrieved she felt. She couldn't help walking in front of Chen and complained. Humph, I have my own ideas. Our original purpose is to solve the Shao organization. Although we have a cooperative relationship with Orochimaru, I never expected Orochimaru to sincerely help us. He can provide us with the information is already pretty good. Chen snorted coldly, explained to Shuiyu, and finally, Chen's face showed a stern expression. Also, Orochimaru. He won't be able to bounce for a few days. I don't need to talk to a dead people care so much. Nani? Boss, what do you mean? Hearing Chen's words, Shuiyu was startled and asked quickly. Not only him, but also Kalen and Shigego felt incredulous, and looked at Chen with a look of surprise. Tinchin's meaning seems to be that Orochimaru will become a dead person in the near future. How can it not surprise them? After all, that is Orochimaru. Even Konoha, who is the leader of the 5 great ninja villages in the country of fire, is a headache for him. Even if he defected from an organization like Akatsuki, he can still survive to the present. They will become dead soon, and they all suspect that they have heard it wrong, but the expressions of the 3 of them are the same, which means that all 3 of them have heard it, and it is impossible for all 3 of them to hear it wrong. Moreover, Kanchan's expression doesn't seem to be joking. Boss, what's going on? Okay, you shouldn't ask these questions, you'll know by then. There is still a long way to go before the Land of Thunder, so let's speed up. As he said that, the speed of his feet increased instantly, and Shueyu waited for a while. People are left behind. Really? The members of the Eagle Squad did not talk nonsense anymore, and also accelerated their speed and followed closely behind Chen. After 2 days of traveling, Chen led the Eagle Squad to finally enter the border of the Land of Thunder. At this time, Chen and the others had just entered a small town in the Land of Thunder. Boss, we have now entered the Land of Thunder, what should we do next? Find a place to repair for 1 night, and then go to Union Village tomorrow. We have to catch the Erway Renzuli from Union Village before the people from Xiao's organization arrive at Union Village. Boss, are you sure we want to do this? That's Yun Yin, one of the 5 great ninja villages. Although she already knew Chen's purpose before she set off, Shueyu still felt a little flustered even now. After all, the prestige of Union Village is there. It is said that the ninjas in Union Village are all dark-skinned, there are some girls and they are all angry. More importantly, the fighting power of the ninjas in their village, they are all very powerful and good at thunder ninjutsu. The most terrifying of them is their 3rd-generation Raikage, who once alone blocked the enemy ninja army of more than 10,000 people. In the end, he was not killed by the opponent, but because he fought 3 it took 3 days and 3 nights to die from exhaustion. If it weren't for this reason, what would the outcome of that battle be? What? Are you afraid? Chi, isn't it Union Village? Don't forget, I'm still a trader in Wuyin Village, one of the 5 great ninja villages. Exclamation mark closing parenthesis. Besides, isn't there the boss of you? No matter how strong he is, Raikage can't be stronger than the boss. Seeing Xianglin despising herself, Shueyu immediately refused to accept it, and she couldn't lose to Xiang no matter what. Phosphorus this woman. Okay, stop arguing, we are already in the territory of the Country of Thunder, so you all pay attention to me, I don't want to cause trouble, let's find a place to live now. Seeing the 2 again to start tearing each other, Chen Shengsheng stopped and walked into a hotel first. After seeing Chen's birth, Shueyu didn't dare to make a sound, she glared at Xianglin and followed behind Chen. Chen came to the hotel and opened 3 rooms, Shueyu and Changwu lived in one, and the remaining 2 were for Chen and Xianglin each, and the 4 stayed at the hotel to make the final rest for tomorrow's task, because everyone knows. There may be a tough battle tomorrow. Chapter 138, Seduced by the Wooden Man. Early the next morning, the members of the Chen Hiying squad who had rested overnight left the hotel and rushed towards Union Village. After a long journey, Chen finally came to the outside of Union Village. Boss, how can we find Renzuli of Erway? We don't seem to have seen this Renzuli, right? Should we enter Union Village to check one by one? Then it depends on Xianglin's ability. According to the information, the second tail of Union Village is a woman called Yumu, with long yellow hair, and the biggest feature is that as a native Union aboriginal, her skin is different from other Union people. She seems to be a beauty. After arriving at the destination, Chen, who was in a good mood, made a rare joke to Shueyu. And there is a chakra on Renzuli's body that is different from ordinary people. It belongs to the chakra of the tailed beast, and it is full of ominous. As long as Xianglin senses this chakra, we don't need to be so troublesome. Yeah, with Xianglin's perception ability, it should be easy to find such a person, and that's what Xianglin is useful for. Hearing Chen's words, Shueyu suddenly realized, but at the end she mocked Xianglin. Xianglin just snorted coldly at Shueyu's ridicule, but did not refute it. Follow me. After Chen greeted him, he walked towards Union Village. Shuiyu and the others behind him quickly followed. Soon, several people came to the entrance of Union Village, and the guards at the entrance were useless to Chen, who had a kaleidoscope writing wheel. After Chen and Illusion put all the guards at the door, these people swaggered into Union Village. Xianglin, find out the direction of Erwiren Zuli. As soon as he entered Union Village, Chen instructed Xianglin. I see. Xianglin didn't say anything, just closed his eyes and started to sense. It may be because the area of Union Village is relatively large, so Xianglin did not find Yumu people quickly. I saw Xianglin frowning tightly at this time, and a little sweat had already appeared on his forehead, as if it was very hard. Suddenly, Xianglin suddenly opened his eyes and looked in one direction. After sensing the target, Xianglin said to Chen, "It's over there, but there seems to be a person next to her. What are you going to do? Do you want to catch the person directly?" This is the interior of Union Village. Forced action will disturb Union's ninjas, which is very unfavorable for us, so we must lead her to a place where no one is there. Chen thought about it and came up with an idea. Come with me. Chen led the Eagle Squad into a deserted alley, and when they reappeared, Shuiyu and Changwu had already changed into the black robe Hongyun uniform of the Akatsuki organization. That's right, Chen is planning to pretend to be members of the Akatsuki organization to attract Yumu to take the bait, because the things done by the members of the Akatsuki organization are seen by the various shinobi villages, and the Akatsuki organization is also the target of blows. In the original book, Yu Murin wanted to kill Jiaodu and Feijuan after seeing them in Union Village, so she followed these two people, but she underestimated the fighting power of the members of Xiao's organization too much, so she was able to kill Kakato and Hidan, but was caught by those two and took out the tailed beast, and she herself was killed because of it. At this time, Chen planned to use the same method to lead Yumu to a place where no one was there, and then extract the second tail from her body. Go, just pass in front of her, make sure she notices you and run to us immediately, don't disturb any ninjas in Union Village. After Shuiyu and Changgo were ready, he told them both rode. Don't worry, boss, this task is too easy for us. Shuiyu responded carelessly. Then, they walked in the direction Kaori said with Shigego, and soon, Suzuki and Shigego bumped into Yukito who seemed to be shopping. Originally, Yumu Ren was in a good mood today, because her good friend Samui came to invite her to go shopping today, but when she ran into the two guys in black robes and the red moon in front of her, her mood suddenly changed. Got worse. As the second-tailed orc Zuli in Union Village, she can also know some information about the Akatsuki organization. Samui, pay attention to the outfits of those two guys, they seem to be members of Akatsuki's organization. Seeing the appearance of Suzuki and Changgo, Yukito's expression became solemn and reminded the companion beside her. Black-robed Hongyun, this is indeed the unique dress of the core members of Xiao's organization. They were able to infiltrate Union Village. Although I don't know what their purpose is, but such a dangerous guy has infiltrated the village and must be reported to Reing-sama immediately. Samui next to Yuki also saw Suzuki and Shigego, and his expression became solemn. Humph. No need to report, wouldn't it be over just to catch them? Yumu Ren, what do you want to do? Don't be so impulsive, this is a market, if you do it here, you will definitely hurt the surrounding civilians. Don't act rashly, we should report it to Lord Rakage first. Seeing the impulsive Yumu Ren, Sam Yi, who was next to him, quickly persuaded him. At this time, the two members of the Akatsuki organization in front of them made a new move, and they turned around and walked away for no apparent reason. It's too late, they're going to run away. In that case, go back and report to Reing-sama first, and I'll follow them. Don't worry, I'll just follow them to make sure of their whereabouts. Report it. Seeing that the people from Akatsuki's organization seemed to be planning to leave, Yukito immediately said to Samui. Okay. Then I'll go back and report to Reing-sama. I'm afraid they will have some conspiracy. You must be careful, don't do anything with them, I will definitely come back as soon as possible. Hearing Yumu Ren's suggestion, Samui thought for a moment and agreed. After all, the presence of Akatsuki's people here will definitely not do anything good, so it is necessary to inform Reikage-sama as soon as possible. No matter what, Yumu's strength is considered to be a top master in Union Village, and she is still away. Human Pillar Force. A powerful force will erupt at critical moments. Even if it is not against the opponent, it should still be possible to protect oneself. Thinking of this, Samui didn't hesitate, and she knew that the situation was urgent, so after telling Yuki, she rushed to the Reading office building in the center of the village. After Samui left, Yukito looked back at Suzuki and Shigego who were leaving, with a stern expression on his face. Does Xiao organize? Chapter 139, Changwu. Shuiyu vs. two Yumu people. At this time, Chen and Xianglin were waiting for Shuiyu to be lured by the wooden man in a deserted place in Union Village. Suddenly, the corners of Chen's mouth twitched slightly, revealing a chuckle. They're back. Yeah, Erwei's man Zuli is chasing them. It seems that the idiot Shuiyu has completed the task. Xianglin also sensed the chakra of Shuiyu and others, and responded to Chen. That's good, I will arrest her immediately when Zuli of Erwei Ren appears, and I can't let her disturb the other ninjas in Union Village. Chen instructed Xianglin. It doesn't seem to work. It seems that Yun Ren, who was with Zuli Erwei, did not catch up. It seems that they should report. After all, Shuiyu and the others are pretending to be members of the Akatsuki organization. The Akatsuki organization has been attacked in various ninja villages. The target, members of Akatsuki's organization, appeared in their own village. It is impossible for them not to report. Xianglin pushed his glasses and said to Chen. Huh. Hearing Xianglin's words, Chen's brows frowned. That's true. Since that's the case, then let's make a quick decision and capture Ertai Ren Zuli before the reinforcements from Union Village feel it. Arrive, and then leave Union Village. Quote. During the conversation between the two figures appeared in their sight. It was Suzuki and Shigego who were disguised as members of Akatsuki's organization. At this time, the two were rushing towards Chen's side, and a long-haired yellow-haired female ninja was following them. When they sensed that Chen was nearby, Shuiyu and the two had a playful expression on their faces. Instead of running away, they stopped and turned around to look at Yuki who was chasing them. Seeing Shuiyu and the others stopped, Yuki also listened. With a sneer on his face, he walked up to Shuiyu and Chango and asked, Are you members of Akatsuki's organization? Come on, you appeared in the what is the purpose of Union Village? Humph. Shuiyu didn't answer, sneered, pulled out the beheading sword from behind, and slashed towards the wooden man. Chi. In the face of Shuiyu's attack, Yumu sneered disdainfully and jumped backward for a distance, dodging Shuiyu's attack, causing Shuiyu's beheading knife to slash in the open space. Hee tilde, you really can dodge. My attack speed is the slowest in our Eagle squad except for this woman, Xianglin, and I really can't hit it. Withdrew the beheading sword, and put the sword on his shoulder. On, Shuiyu said jokingly as she looked at the Yukito in front of her. You Eagle Squad, it turns out that you are not members of the Xiao organization. The reason why you pretended to be like this should be to lure me here. It seems that your target is me. You're not stupid, but now you realize that it's too late. No matter what, you can't escape our palms today, Shuiyu said playfully. Hey, Shuiyu, that guy is the two-tailed person Zuri. If you take it lightly, you may be killed. Chango, who was standing beside Shuiyu, reminded Shuiyu solemnly. Changwu, you underestimate me. Shuiyu didn't take it seriously for Changwu's reminder, and retorted to him. Let's do it. The woman who was beside Erwei Ren Zuli just now seems to be going back to rescue soldiers. She must be eliminated before the reinforcements from Union Village arrive. I know. Shuiyu said and took down the decapitation knife on her shoulders, holding the handle of the knife with both hands, posing an attacking stance. Haha tilde, do you think you've already settled on me? Although you are not the real Akatsuki organization, you are definitely not a good person. I want to bet on the reputation of Union and the two Yumu people. Kill you. What did you say? Kill us. What a shameless statement. It really makes people angry. Shueyu roared, waving the beheading sword and attacking Yumu again. Chi. In the face of Shueyu's attack, the wooden man did not panic, only to see that the nails on her hands suddenly became longer, and two chakra-condensed tails appeared at the tail and swayed behind her. Although the tail of the two-tailed cat has been condensed, the other parts of the wooden man's body are not covered by the tail beast coat, and he can maintain his senses. This is a half-body of the tailed beast mode. It explodes its two-tailed tail but does not change its shape, and gains rapid speed to continuously attack the opponent. I saw that Yumu Ren also rushed towards Shueyu, and the speed was even faster than Shueyu. In the blink of an eye, he rushed in front of Shueyu, and his hands that had become sharp claws were slashed against Shueyu's stomach. Shueyu couldn't dodge for a while, and was cut in the belly by the wooden man. But fortunately, Shueyu is not an ordinary person. After the wooden man cut Shueyu's stomach, there was no blood splashing as expected, and only a series of splashes came out. Yumu Ren frowned and was about to attack again, but Shueyu had already reflected it at this time, and hurriedly waved her knife and chopped at Yumu Ren. But compared to Shueyu's slow movement, Yuki the wooden man is even more sensitive, and has already escaped the attack range of Shueyu before the beheading sword is close. It's really not that easy to deal with. If it wasn't for the secret techniques of our Ghost Lamp clan, I would have been killed by now. I told you to be careful, we will join forces in the next attack. Chongo walked to Shueyu and reminded him again. At the same time, Shigego took off his robes and assumed an attacking stance. I saw that Shigego's face was suddenly covered with a special pattern half of his face, and then his left hand turned into a monster-like appearance with several barb-like pipes on his arm. Got it. Seeing Chongo's appearance, Shueyu also put away her abusive expression and became serious. Hey, are you planning to join forces? Anyway, the result is the same. Faced with the alliance between Shigego and Shueyu, Yukito was not nervous, and seemed to ignore the two of them at all. Chongo didn't refute Yumu Ren's sarcasm, he just snorted coldly, clenched his left fist, and jumped towards Yumu Ren. At the same time, his clenched left fist attacked Yumu Ren. Soon, the two fought together. Chapter 140, Reikage Dispatched. After the two people organized by Akatsuki planned to leave, Samui reached a consensus with Yuki, and Samui went back to inform Reikage, while Yuki followed Akatsuki and waited for support. After Samui left, Dia sprinted towards the Reiying office building in the center of Union Village, and soon arrived at the office building. Isn't this Samui? Seeing that you are so panicked, it seems that you have an urgent request to see Reikage-sama. Just after Samui entered Reikage's office, he ran into a woman in the corridor with a portfolio in her hand. I saw that this woman had a head of white hair, her skin was as dark as the Aborigines of Union Village, and her appearance was quite beautiful. Lord Azabui, Reikage-sama is not there. I have an urgent matter to report to Reikage-sama. It's information about Akatsuki's organization. Seeing the person coming, Samui hurriedly stopped, and after a few breaths, hurriedly told her. This person's name is Azabui, who has the ninjutsu technique that allows any object to transmit the speed of light, and now serves as Reikage's secretary. Nani? Shao organization. Are you sure? Hearing Samui's words, Mabuyi was startled and asked quickly. I'm sure that Yumu Ren has already caught up with him alone. Time is running out. Please Mr. Mabuyi, take me to see Mr. Reiking first. I will report the details to Mr. Reiking in detail. I know, come with me. Mabuyi also knew that the situation was urgent, so he didn't ask any further questions, and took Sammy to meet the fourth-generation Reikage of Union Village. Soon, Mabuyi took Samui to an office, and he pushed in without knocking on the door. At this time, the people in the office also appeared in Samui's line of sight. There were only 3 people, one of them was sitting in front of the desk, a middle-aged strong man with a big back, and he was the 4th generation of Union Village. Reikage, I, is the name of the reigning of all dynasties. No matter what the previous name was, as long as he took over the position of reigning in Union Village, he would automatically change his name to I. The two people standing behind Reikage are Reikage's guards. One of the ninjas with yellow hair is named Nishi, a perception ninja. The other is called Darui, the only successor of the Black Thunder, the Union elite Shinjin who has the limit of the blood of the cloud, and is the captain of the first team of the Ninja Alliance in the original Naruto. He showed great strength when he fought against the eagle with Reikage. He was skilled in using Shui Dun and Lei Dun, and he played superbly with swordsmanship. During the battle, he pressed Sasuke and pressed Shui Yu. After Abuyi pushed the door of the office open, the three of them looked at Abuyi and Samyi behind her in surprise. Mabuyi, what happened? Lei Ying didn't blame Mabuyi for being rude, but frowned and asked Mabuyi, because he knew that Mabuyi was always calm. If it wasn't for what happened, urgent things must not be so rushed. Lord Reikage, an emergency has indeed occurred. It seems that members of the Akatsuki organization have infiltrated our Union village. Shao organization. What's going on? Let Samui explain this to you. Mabuyi replied, and then looked at Samui beside him. Samui, tell Reikage-sama what you want to say. After hearing Mabuyi's words, the other three looked at Samui with the same doubts. Yes, here's the thing. Today, when I asked Yukito to go to the market together, I ran into them at the market. At that time, they seemed to have noticed that we had noticed them, so they left. We didn't know their purpose, so I negotiated with Yukito, and I came back to inform Reikage-sama, while Yukito kept up with the two members of Akatsuki's organization by himself, and had mastered their whereabouts. Nani, did Yukito catch up by himself? If it's really Akatsuki's organization, that's too bad. Although I don't know much about this organization, but according to some people in our village scattered all over the ninja world, the spy reported that this organization seems to be composed of some S-rank rebels and ninjas, and each member's strength is higher than that of Shangnin. It is impossible for a wooden man to handle them alone. If they find out, she will be in danger. After learning that Yukito actually followed Akatsuki's people alone, Darui behind Reikage put away his lazy look, and said solemnly. Boom! Lei Ying, who was sitting behind the desk, suddenly threw a punch and slammed into the desk in front of him, directly blowing the desk. I saw him stand up suddenly and said angrily, damn. How dare you go to Union Village to run wild? I don't care what organization they are. If they dare to offend our Union Village, I will definitely take them one by one. Squeeze. Boss, let's hurry up and chase after Yumu Ren. If he is discovered by the people in Xiao's organization, then she is in danger. The perceptive ninja, she hurriedly reminded. Humph. Mabuyi, immediately ordered to go down, block all the exits of Union Village, and do not allow anyone to leave the village. If you encounter any suspicious people, then arrest them. Yes, Reikage-sama. Delui, let's go. After Reikage finished his instructions to Mabuyi, he turned around and greeted the leading guard, then jumped out of the glass window of the office building, followed by two guards. The other side. At this time, Chongo and Shuiyu, who had already turned into a half-curse, joined forces and launched an attack on the half-tailed beast turned Yumu. Facing the two people's pincer attack, Yumu was obviously not as easy as before, and he was still gradually at a disadvantage. It is only a matter of time before he is defeated. I believe that if there is no accident, Yuki will be captured by Shigego and Suzuki soon. However, as a human pillar, of course, Yuki will not be defeated so easily. Looking at Shigego how Suzuki who fought with Yuki, Xianglin asked Chen, it seems that Shigego and Suzuki will not be able to solve the two-tailed Zuri for a while, and you said human Zuli seems to have another ability called Tailed Beast Transformation. Human Zuli who has entered Tailed Beast Transformation can use the power of Tailed Beast to make his own strength stronger. With the current strength of Changwu and Shuiyu, although he can barely cope with it, but it seems a little difficult to capture the tailed beast like human Zuli. If we delay, the reinforcements of Union Village will feel it. At that time, we may have to face a large number of ninjas in Union Village, and it is even possible even their Reikage will appear, then it won't be so easy for us to go. Hee, it's too late.